AM 1250 and 103.3 FM. Joe Reinagel, Jason Minix, The Blitz.
It is The Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 103.3 FM. He is Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix.
What's going on, Jason?
Man, just enjoying a Thursday.
It is Thursday. Beautiful day.
Learning things today, too.
Learning lots of things. We always learn things when we come in here.
Yeah, we do. I learned today that Batman has a new movie out tonight. And apparently I'm the only one that didn't know that Batman was coming out tonight.
Well, the only reason I knew, I saw a promo, I think it was last night on TV or somewhere that, it was coming out. It looks pretty good. But, usually you see a commercial for a new movie, and that's the best part of the movie.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah.
I hate when that happens. I'm not the biggest movie guy. Pledge, God bless him, love him. But he can recite you every script, every character. He'll tell you who the third grip was on the fourth scene. I'm not that way, right?
And I was shocked he's not going today.
He's lying.
You think so?
He's lying.
He'll go.
He can't help himself.
Well, his words to me were, as he was walking out the door, I said, have a good evening. He said, I'm going to go to the gym, listen to y'all, and go to bed. Those were his words.
That's a good plan. I mean, but honestly, I would. Now, I didn't realize, apparently it is a 3-hour movie.
It is. Yeah.
I was excited about the movie until I heard that. It's got to be one hell of a movie for me to sit there for 3 hours.
Well, I'm not. I like the first Batman when it first came out. That was good. And Jack Nicholson is a Joker, and that was good. And they some of them have been good, and then some of them, so. So I don't know about this, because the guy that's playing Batman doesn't look like the most manly, He-Man kind of guy.
Okay.
There's a guy from Twilight. Well, I don't know. I want Batman to be like hey,
Batman.
Right, I'm Batman, and don't mess with me, because if you do, you'll get a foot up your behind.
Yeah. Well, I think that's now. I'm not into Marvel stuff. I'm not into I haven't seen the new Spider-Man. Probably never will.
Right.
I mean, it's just not my thing.
When it's on Netflix, maybe.
But I have watched all the Batmans through the years.
Yeah.
Although I can't tell you all about them. Right. I mean, again, I'm not going to recite anything, but I am looking for that next movie where I go, besides Top Gun. Yeah. I know that's coming out, but I feel like that's been coming out for 3 years.
It has.
I mean, what's going to get me to go back to the movie theater, which isn't a big deal that I haven't gone to a movie theater yet since they all shut down, because it's not like I went a lot before. So it's not like, man, I can't wait to go back and, pay for really expensive, good popcorn or whatever the case is. I just have never been a big moviegoer. I will go, but it better be one hell of a movie for me to actually go sit in the theater and go.
Well, I like it now because we'll go to the Palladium, Maggie and I, and you go to the adult section.
Careful. Explain.
If you go upstairs, it's adults only.
It's a bar.
And there's a bar up there.
You call that 21 and up.
Okay.
When you're talking about movies in adult sections, you're thinking lots of X's and a private room and a roll of paper towels.
Pee Wee Herman kind of thing. Remember that?
Yeah.
Edwin doesn't know what I'm talking about, but
he knows.
Yeah.
So he knows. He's just looking at you like a creepy, dirty old man.
It's the over 21. There's a real nice bar in there. And of course, you go in, they've got the cocoon kind of thing, the 2-seat deal. You can sit there. And then you've got a server that comes by. So you can have drinks or food or whatever you want. And the popcorn's free, by the way.
It's because you've
paid for it.
You've paid for it.
But I enjoy that. I'll do that. So I don't know if we'll go see Batman, but that's something that Maggie and I did before the world shut down.
Have you been to a theater since the world shut down?
Yes. I couldn't even tell you what we saw, though. I think it was Godzilla, the latest Godzilla movie.
You didn't care. You just wanted drinks and a cocoon to make out in.
I'm a big Godzilla fan. Always have been since I was a kid. I love God. I think it was Godzilla versus King Kong.
All right.
That one came out recently, I think, didn't it?
Sure.
And,
we'll go with that.
I was a little disappointed with how it ended because, when I was a kid, I'd go
to with you getting a bill.
Well, that too. Every Saturday at the Rialto Theater in Alice, Texas, when I was a kid, my dad would drop us off all my friends would meet there, and they'd have a Godzilla movie marathon.
Every Saturday?
Every Saturday, started at noon.
Wow.
I mean, it wouldn't last into the night, so people that could do, regular movies. There's only one movie theater. It wasn't like you had, 25 theaters in one building.
It's funny. That's growing up in Copperas Cove, Texas. We never had the movie marathons other than Rocky Horror every now and then. But we used to get dropped off, I want to say by 2:00. And the Cove Theater had 2 screens.
Yeah.
Didn't matter what was playing. You would go see 2 movies. You'd go to the 2:00 and then the 4:00. And then your parents would pick you up after they've had the day to go to the commissary, go to the PX, do whatever parents do in the middle of the day. And, then you realize as an adult, you found 2 hours to watch your kid. You found 2 hours to watch your kid, even if you just went home and sat in your chair.
Right. Kind of. But I mean, yeah, there are other things to do, though.
There are.
For 5 minutes.
Whatever it takes to get your, yes, exactly. I mean, you have to strategically plan things.
Yeah, you do.
I was just in Vegas over the weekend.
Yeah.
Kid was sharing the room with us.
You had to be careful.
9:00 in the morning. Let's go to Starbucks. That's guaranteed 45 minutes.
Yeah, at a hotel like that,
guaranteed
yes.
At Aria.
Yeah.
It's a 45-minute trip.
Yeah.
Why don't you run down and get some Starbucks?
And she didn't know any better. She's, sure, Dad, I'll be happy to do that.
Sure, she knows. She's 23. She knows. I mean, it's not like you had to say, hey, kid, it's the morning. Why don't you run to Starbucks?
Right. Yeah, my kids would have said, well, can we just call room service?
See, but they won't bring you Starbucks.
Oh, well, I don't care.
They'll bring you regular coffee.
It's all I need.
Yeah.
It's all I need.
Unless you need 45 minutes.
Right. Which
or
you
10,
don't.
Or 10.
Yeah. So what'd you do for the other 35 minutes?
Took a shower, got cleaned up, got ready to go. It's kind of what it boils down to.
Hey, dude, I'm sitting here looking at you, and I'm just creeping out just thinking about that. Well, I love you and all, but there's some things that friends just don't talk about.
Well, I mean, but again, it's not like Michael Jimenez, who openly talks about his schedule and tells everybody his schedule that he has with his wife, which
that creeped me out.
I don't understand that at all.
Just do what you do, and I don't need to hear about it.
Well, I didn't want to tell you about it, but you asked because you were like, well, there's other things you could do.
We could have just ended it right there, though.
Fully aware.
We could have just ended it right there.
Fully aware.
And the fact that you told me it took 10 minutes, you're lying.
You're jealous.
You're lying.
You're jealous.
Oh, my goodness. Well, hey, it's Thursday. It's a beautiful day outside.
You know who won't be taking advantage of those opportunities anytime soon?
Who's that?
Blake Jarwin.
Yeah.
Blake Jarwin of the Dallas Cowboys had hip surgery. What's described as an unusual hip surgery for a football player. And this could be pretty major for the Dallas Cowboys and their offseason planning, because this hip surgery will cost him the start of next season. You're looking at a minimum 8-month recovery, and his career might be over. This is one of those surgeries, depending on how rehab goes, it might be a career-ending injury that none of us knew about.
I think whether it's career-ending or not, his time with the Dallas Cowboys is done.
It's got to be.
He's done with the Dallas Cowboys. He won't be back there, and I'm not even sure this hip surgery would have prevented that anyway. He's going to be making like $4 million next year, and I think if they release him, it saves them a couple of $1 million, and the Cowboys need all they can get right now. And it goes back to something that I saw James Slater tweet about the other day, is that Dalton Schultz may be the franchise guy for the Dallas Cowboys this year.
Well, if he gets the franchise tag, and when you think about who could get the tag, you go, why would you tag Schultz, who's coming off of a great year? I mean, he's had the best year for a tight end since like 2013 when Jason Witten had a hell of a year. But the tag for a tight end is only $10.8 million this year. Where you go with a wide receiver, it's like 19.1.
Right.
The idea of tagging Dalton Schultz, and the problem there is 10.8 goes against the cap. So do you really want to use a franchise tag on that guy? But now you might need to, just to make sure you have a tight end. The flip side is this is a deep tight end draft. There's not a Kyle Pitts-like tight end, but there are a ton of tight ends in this draft that are going to be very serviceable NFL tight ends. Probably nobody on day one, maybe one or two on day two, but a lot of day three, third, fourth round guys. Dane Bugler from The Athletic, who is a fantastic draft analysis, says 12 to 15 tight ends drafted on day three is what he projected heading into it. So if you were ever going to have a year where you go, oh, crap, we need a tight end, that wasn't really in our plans. This is a good year for that to happen versus last year when it was a very thin tight end draft.
Well, and I think that's good for the Cowboys because I'm not sure. Look, Dalton Schultz had a good year, but, I mean, he got the football thrown to him quite a bit this year.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe out of necessity, maybe, and we've discussed that a lot. But I'm not sure he's your guy. I'm not sure I'm going to go into the season or into the future, 3, 4, 5 years from now saying we're going to rest on Dalton Schultz and he's going to be our guy. I don't think you do that. So I think you do draft. So I was watching the combine a little bit earlier, and this kid from Nebraska, Austin Allen, he's a monster. And he runs pretty fast for a monster. And so, there are a lot of guys out there. And I just happen to notice him because he's such a big dude. And I was trying to see his stats. But the guy's got to be at least 6'6", 6'7", I would say. 6'9" is what he is. He's 6'9". He's already 23 years old, according to this. And 6'9". And he's big. He's not a beanpole.
Well, and the question is, I mean, because I think Dalton Schultz could be your guy, the way the Cowboys use a tight end in the receiving game, because while he's not a Tony Gonzalez type, he's a reliable receiver, and he became the security blanket for Dak Prescott. I mean, he really was. He was that guy. He's not a great blocker. And that's where Jason Witten was so good for so many years. Jason Witten was both. They brought in that Blake Bell guy, the Belldozer, trying to use him as a blocker. They've, there was that other dude that they have, but you go back, do you remember? And he was a bust, but Gavin Escobar that they drafted in second round. And again, Escobar was a bust, but I think what they wanted in Gavin Escobar, they're getting out of a Dalton Schultz. That idea of a good pass catcher, good solid route runner, be that security blanket. Escobar was a taller guy, probably more of a wide receiver, but would fit into that mold of what the tight end was becoming at the time. And, but Escobar never worked. So I'm not totally dismissing Schultz as a worthless player that why would you want to tag him? I think there's a reason there, but you're not going to overpay a guy like Dalton Schultz.
Well, and that's what I mean. So the tag is a good thing, especially with the numbers you're talking about. Remember Dak Prescott, when they tagged him, I think the first one was like $22 million. The second one was like 25. So, it is a big hit, and the Cowboys really can't afford a big hit on their cap. They're already over the cap as it is. I just think you need to look to the future. And for what the reasons that you just stated, good pass catcher, but not the greatest of blocker. The Cowboys have been really fortunate. You mentioned Jason Witten, and then Jay Novacek before him was the same type of player. And I think the Cowboys want to stick to what they do and do best, and how the Cowboys have been made is run the football first, throw second. And that's kind of what they do, although this year was a little bit of a difference out of necessity. But if you want to get back to that, you need a guy that can do both. And I'm just not sure. That's why I'm just not sold on Dalton Schultz.
Well, and again, I look at it, it's not like the Cowboys have had a lot of success in drafting tight ends. I mean, you go back to Jason Witten, obviously that was a hell of a pickup. But you've had guys like Martellus Bennett and Escobar and Jeff Swaim and Rico Gathers, which was a major project and ultimate failure of a project. And you did draft Dalton Schultz, and you look at where Blake Jarwin is at, and what they thought he was going to be until he started suffering injuries. And this injury, career ending, but certainly seems like it's going to be Cowboys ending, because they're going to be able to release him with the medical designation and save some money against the cap. And maybe if he's healthy, they're able to re-sign him. I saw a thing last night on ESPN that Gronkowski is a free agent, probably not going back to Tampa Bay. And they were trying to say, where's a good landing spot for a guy like Gronkowski? And last night I can't remember if I was watching ESPN or NFL Network, to be honest, but they were talking about him in Buffalo.
I saw that.
He's from that area, all that kind of stuff. And that certainly would make a lot of sense. A 1-year run with Gronkowski and the Cowboys.
That'd be great.
Absolutely. And knowing Gronkowski and his desire to be in the public eye, and after spending a couple of years in Florida, I don't know if he really wants to go back and play in Buffalo. You know what I mean? But also, when you look at the NFC right now, your chance of getting back to the Super Bowl is better in the NFC than it is in the AFC.
No, you're right. The NFC is weaker than the AFC right now. But Gronkowski has been an AFC guy most of his career. Obviously, it changed with Tampa Bay. I think it would be great. I really do. And you're right. He would get a lot of attention in Dallas. He would get a lot of attention.
It would make a ton of money in marketing alone, like everybody else that puts a star on their helmet.
But that's the thing. They're going to have to sell him on that because they're not going to have a lot of money to pay him. And Buffalo may have more money. And if he's looking at just another run, Gronkowski's not going to come cheap. He's not one of those guys that's going to play for a few $million.
No, but I, you wonder where the Cowboys could find some money. And again, it's spaghetti on the wall season.
Right,
so let's throw it out there and
exactly.
see, could you get a Gronkowski? Well, if you're Kellen Moore sitting there going, how do we design this offense right now? Let's say you lose an Amari Cooper. Okay, now you need another real strong offensive weapon. Gronkowski is going to be a lot cheaper than an Amari Cooper, right? So, CeeDee Lamb becomes the number one. Whatever you end up doing with number two, and we still don't know if it'll be Gallup or if you lose Gallup and Cooper, Cedric Wilson, CeeDee Lamb.
That's a little weak.
You don't have a lot of fear on the defensive side. You add a Gronkowski in the middle of that. Now you've got a pretty good plan, a pretty good threat, and he certainly is still a threat. Look at the numbers he put up with Tom Brady.
That's great. Tampa Bay had a pretty good offensive line.
They did. The
Cowboys don't.
Well, again, you still got to fix those too. But
you've got to fix. I don't care. You can bring in a Gronkowski, and that's great. And he would turn into Dak Prescott's security blanket.
Yep.
Out of necessity, though, I think. And if you're looking at Wilson and Lamb on the outside, I mean, that doesn't scare anybody.
Well, and that's part of the reason why I'm like, everybody's like, get rid of Amari. I'm like, why?
Exactly.
I mean, you financially, you've got to figure out either let him walk, but you better have another young star receiver ready to go. Not saying draft a receiver in the first round, but
please don't.
But the Cowboys have the weapons, and they didn't obviously cash in with the Super Bowl with all those great weapons. Now, if you start taking away the effectiveness of the offense, what's going to happen? So the Gronkowski idea, which honestly 2 days ago I wouldn't have thought was a real need for the Cowboys to go chase. But if they're going to be down a tight end, and they are with Blake Jarwin, you've got to replace that. And then you start really looking at the production from the tight end position from a guy named Dalton Schultz. What could that production look like, especially with mismatches with a tight end like a Rob Gronkowski?
I think it would be fabulous. You don't have to sell me, and I don't think you'd have to sell any Cowboy fan on that. I think any Cowboy fan would love to have a Rob Gronkowski in the lineup, and that guy can block. I mean, he is a decent blocker as well. I mean, the guy, he does it very well, which is something that would help the Cowboys on both ends. But until they do something, and I'm going to go into this draft, and I know everybody's saying an edge rusher is what they need or a linebacker is what they need. Baloney. If they don't draft the best offensive lineman in the draft with their first pick, to me, it's a wasted pick because that's where they've got to figure things out and get that done. They did a great job of that prior, 5, 6, 7 years back. That's where they need to focus. And if they don't focus on that, if you don't keep Dak Prescott upright, if you're not blocking it and allowing the running backs to run, then the Cowboys are done, and they're not going to be able to beat the good teams again next year.
The only part of what I just heard from you that I'll disagree with is we will know more and have a better idea once we see what they might do in free agency, because I am a draft best player available kind of guy. But
CD Lamb,
but of need.
That's worked out well, hasn't it?
Yes, but of need.
Zeke Elliott,
but of need, right? So I'm not gonna take in the first round an offensive lineman that would likely still be there in the second round or the third round, obviously, right?
I agree
know
with
that's
that.
not what you're saying, but
right.
But I also remember all of us bitching that Jerry Jones traded up to take Travis Frederick at the end of the first round when people had second and third round grades on him. And that was a brilliant decision by the Dallas Cowboys to make that move.
Absolutely it was. And it hurt them badly when he had to retire. So what I'm saying is I think the Cowboys did such a great job. And look at the names on that offensive line that they drafted and built that offensive line through the draft. They need to do the same thing again. And I know that the twinkle of a CD Lamb was out there, and I get why they took him. But you've got to draft need. And if you can't block, if you can't open up holes, then you're not going to beat good teams. We saw that this year. Cowboys can beat the Washingtons of the world and the Giants of the world, okay, and beat them soundly. But you can't beat San Francisco. You couldn't beat the Arizona Cardinals. And you've got to be able to run the football. That's Dallas Cowboy football. And if they can't do that, you're not going to the Super Bowl.
So for everybody right now, and because you're going to, as it sits right now, likely to lose Gregory or Lawrence or both.
Okay.
Right? So that's why edge rusher is on everybody's mock
They
draft.
weren't getting to the quarterback anyway with those two guys.
I'm the proponent. Just help the offense so they can go score all the points we expect them to
Micah
score.
Parsons was your best pass rusher.
I remember they didn't even really want him. They were looking for a corner, but the guys that they wanted were off the board, so they end up with Micah Parsons. And if you redrafted just from a year ago, I don't know if he's number one. Well, no, he's probably not number one overall, but he's in the top 5.
He's in the top 5, for
definitely
sure.
in the top 5.
Yeah, no question. And I don't think he would have lasted much longer anyway. He was the guy.
He was.
And a lot of people, and remember, he didn't even play in his last year of college. He sat out. So
insane.
The Cowboys got lucky there. But Jason, they've got to do something with that offensive line. And I don't care. That to me is the meat and potatoes of football. If your offensive line is not there, you're done. You're toast. You can't do anything. I don't care if you have the best pass rusher there is. That's why the Washington Commanders are willing to deal Chase Young. You can find guys that are okay there and can get the job done. But if that offensive line can't get the job done, forget about it.
I agree. And again, you look at the NFC East as it sits right now, could change tremendously.
It could.
I credit Washington's football team, while everybody is mocking Washington's football team, for calling Green Bay and asking about Aaron Rodgers. Why wouldn't you?
Of course.
Apparently, they've called everybody to ask about the availability of their quarterback. And people are mocking them. Why wouldn't you? I mean, that's called due diligence. If you think there's a chance, go explore it. What do you got? You good with the quarterback? What can we do? I mean, you called everybody with the quarterback that you might want because they don't want to go with Heineken again. So why wouldn't you? I know they're getting universally mocked for doing it. I don't blame them. I think that's brilliant.
I think it's brilliant. Every team would like to have a franchise quarterback. And that's why if the rumors were true that they were offering the Houston Texans Chase Young and a couple of picks, and everybody said that's crazy, I would have made that deal in a heartbeat.
And you look at the NFC East.
For Deshaun Watson, that is.
Washington is trying to find themselves a quarterback.
Yep.
And willing to trade a lot to go find a quarterback. Philadelphia is not necessarily sold on Jalen Hurts. I think if they could find another quarterback, they would make that move. So imagine Washington and Philadelphia with significant upgrades at their quarterback position. And then you've got the Cowboys. The Giants, they seem to be married to Jones, and They want to trade Saquon, so I don't know what the hell they're doing in New York. But
they need an offensive line.
But they also need an offensive line. But if a couple of star quarterbacks end up in the NFC East, now all of a sudden, when I'm drafting, those edge rushers, those defenders are going to be a whole lot more important. Yeah, that's what I mean. Let's see how free agency plays out when we start figuring out what's going to happen in the draft.
And that's going to be fun to watch because a lot of these quarterbacks, and if deals are to be made and guys are going to move, it's going to happen before the draft.
Yes.
Right, it has to. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting to see. And you're exactly right. There could be two quarterbacks there that improve both of those teams tremendously. And even though the Giants say they're not willing to do something, somebody falls in their lap or they get an opportunity, I guarantee you they pull the trigger on that thing. So you could have all three. I mean, what's to say they don't trade Danny Dimes somewhere else and have their franchise quarterback there?
They could end up with somebody. I mean, it's going to be. That's why I love the NFL offseason.
Dude, the NFL never has an offseason. Okay, and that's what I love about it.
Well, and quite frankly, especially for sports talk radio, sometimes offseason more entertaining than the actual season.
I agree.
Because all of us are better general managers than the fool that has the job.
Well, I think most people might agree with that. Poor Jerry Jones. A lot of people say they could do a better job.
Well, and I know a guy that sits in that chair that you're sitting in right now that's on from 7 to 10 a.m. on this station that says being a GM is easy.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if it was easy, Jerry might be able to do it a little bit better.
Don't knock on wood.
And I'm not sure that Jerry is not better than his son. His son kind of concerns me and should concern every Cowboy fan.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 103.3 FM. Coming up, boy, we got a lot to get into today, including the Spurs. They play tonight. Lovie Smith's with some interesting things to say about his new job as head coach of the Houston Texans. Speaking of, we'll talk with John McClain of the Houston Chronicle coming up at 5:30. It's a Thursday. What's on tap? Brought to you by Sam's Burger Joint. Will happen at 5:45. If you've got an event this weekend, if you're in a band, you want us to talk about it, make sure you tweet us at Joe Ryan Engel 210. Tweet at me at Jason Minix. And of course, it's Thursday. We'll give away a $50 gift card to Tri-County Meat Market. Grilling with the Blitz. Still time for you to upload a photo from the meat from your grill to sasportstar.com. You know, nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. Whether it's you, a family member, a friend of yours, somebody you know gets arrested, you want to get out of jail fast, best way to do that, call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text the word bail to 474747, or you can even start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you really understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option is AA Best Bail Bonds for stress-free bail bonds because nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. They offer a free shuttle service because when you get arrested, generally you don't drive your car to jail. It's somewhere they'll get you to it. And they're discreet and confidential, open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. If you're down in the Valley, down in Corpus area, up in Dallas, anywhere in between, license number 149. Call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or online, mybestbailbonds.com.
Can Pop get that elusive win to tie Don Nelson tonight? Spurs and Kings. We'll talk about that right after the Sports Center update. In the NFL today, we've been talking about it. The Cowboys are expected to be without tight end Blake Jarwin for the start of the regular season. Jarwin had hip surgery last month, a surgery that is considered uncommon for NFL players. There's also talk that they just might release him outright. Also in the NFL, the league and its players union have agreed to drop all of the COVID-19 restrictions. They're going to do that immediately, but they say that everyone must still follow any state and local rules. And the Spurs do return to action tonight, their first game back from the Rodeo Road Trip, trying to snap a 2-game losing streak. They're going to take on the Sacramento Kings, who, by the way, have their own losing streak at 4 games. Spurs still looking to get in that play-in tournament. I'm Joe Reinagel for San Antonio Sports Star.
The Roo Pub is the best place to watch a game. Football, basketball, the big fights, they have them on at the Roo on their 3 massive 170-inch laser screens and TVs all around. Come hungry, the food is fantastic, and the kitchen is open until 2 a.m. every day with the full menu available. The Roo Pub has the best darts area in town, indoor cornhole, and weekday happy hour from 11 to 6. For lunch, dinner, or late at night, and the best place to watch a game, get into the Roo Pub at 281 in Redmond Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Hello, Connecticut. May I help you?
This is Bill Tyson. Is this my Connecticut Pro?
Yes, Mr. Tyson. What can I do for you?
Calling from Yellowstone National Park.
Mm-hmm.
Old Faithful just erupted and reminded me I didn't set the vacation bypass in my Connecticut water conditioner. Would you run over to my house and set it? I've hidden the key under my door, man.
Well,
I forgot to set the bypass last year. I had that other brand, and the software used up 4,000 pounds of salt in a week.
Mr. Tyson, relax. With your new Connecticut, there is no vacation cycle or any worries about salt.
Oh.
If you don't use any water, your Connecticut won't either. We not only believe in saving salt, but also in saving water.
Would you go over and unplug it then? I'm trying to conserve electricity.
You forget that your Connecticut doesn't use electricity either. There's nothing to plug in. And don't forget that your Connecticut is also completely automatic.
I mean, I can relax and enjoy my whole vacation?
That's right.
This is great. I've got Old Faithful here at Yellowstone and an Old Faithful in my Connecticut water conditioner at home.
The last water softener you'll ever own. ConnecticutSA.com.
Jason Minix here for Garageization. You've heard me tell you about their shelving, overhead racks, and storage systems to make your garage functional for the entire family. If you have issues with your garage, call 210-664-4494. Have them come out and give you a free consultation. Garageization couldn't be a better choice. A veteran family-owned and operated business for more than a decade. Give them a call at 210-664-4494 or go to the website garageorganizationsanantonio.com.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it gonna work? Guys, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Yeah! Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pure Line Nutrition.
Don't let pain keep you from doing the things you love. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. Whether you've been living with chronic and nagging pain for years, or if you've recently experienced an injury, our goal is to get you out of pain as quickly as possible. Arasti is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, Arasti accepts most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
The play is in. The Blitz with Joe Reinagle and Jason Minix. ESPN 1250 and 103.3 FM.
Bring that ass back like a boom, 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 boom.
San Antonio Spurs back home tonight after the long rodeo road trip. It is the Blitz. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix here on San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN AM 1250, 103.3 FM.
How about Edwin coming in with the music there, huh? That was good. Edwin Hafner running the show today, driving the bus, as it were.
I don't choose the music, but it was good music.
Dude, take credit. I don't care who chooses
Who
it.
chooses the music?
Ask Pledge.
You're producing this, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's on your watch, so take credit. I mean, if it sucks, then you blame Pledge. If we like it, you say, hell yeah, that was all me.
I should take credit for everything good on this show.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Even if it's not mine.
Of course.
Well, you're a part of it, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, you're it's kind of like a pilot, right? The whole crew will take credit for a successful flight, right?
Yeah.
When it crashes, they blame one dude, right?
That's true.
But when it's a good flight, if it takes off and lands, the whole crew gets credit.
True. So, Edwin, the moral of this story is that was a great song, my friend. Great, very well chosen.
Thank you.
Edwin Hafner, a man of very few words.
He is, but I tell you what, he's doing a hell of a job.
He is doing a hell of a job. Glad that he's sitting in with us from 4 to 7 as Pledge is waking up early now with Rob and Rudy. He's probably in the gym right now doing pleasure poses while listening to us saying, I want credit for that. I chose that.
He's screaming, and
Yes.
people are wondering, what the hell's the matter with that guy?
Yeah, they think that no matter what.
Probably.
You look at the Spurs, it's been forever since the Spurs have played at home.
Yeah, it has.
February 4th was their last home game. They go 4-4 on the road trip. At the beginning of the road trip, I think we all would have taken a 500 road trip.
Would have been thrilled.
Why does it feel like people were unhappy with the road trip?
Because it started out better than it ended.
Okay.
And I think that's why. Right? So, you're thinking the way it started out, that it could have been a really good rodeo road trip. Instead, it kind of ended with a thud. So I think that's why people are upset. And you know how people are. We're in a microwave society. It's what happened just 5 minutes ago that gets everybody excited.
Well, the Spurs have a game tonight against a team that they should beat.
They should.
You've got two teams desperate for wins.
Yep.
Two teams that are fighting to be in the play-in.
Well, Sacramento lost last night to New Orleans, so they're coming off a back-to-back. It's a game, I saw some of what happened and read some of what happened. It looked like the Kings had a chance to win that game, but they couldn't get it done. And that would have helped the Spurs, obviously. But, the Spurs are looking to climb in over a couple of teams. They're going to have to. So everybody says, well, we got to get by New Orleans or we have to get by the Lakers. First team they got to get by is Portland. Okay, you take it one step at a time. There's about, 20 games left in the season, I think. So, it's one step at a time. You got to get by Portland. Then you start worrying about the next team.
I don't know what you saw last night, but the Pelicans beat Sacramento 125-95.
Well, it was close at one time. I think when it started, it was really close.
0-0 at one point. I mean, looking at the score by quarter, Sacramento was up by 2 at the end of 1. They scored 13 whole points in the third quarter. But this is... What are you laughing at?
It was close.
Dude, I heard you say that. I looked up and said, that's not the score I saw. Let me double check. Yeah. Dude, they kept it within 30, man. They were right there.
They were right there. Come on. Try to give them some credit. It would have helped the Spurs out.
2 days off of TV, you're not doing highlights, and you see a score and go, well, that's close. I see how that works. No, but you look at it, and I just, with this Spurs team, and I'm still mixed on what I want to see. I want them to go compete. If they end up in the play-in, they end up in the play-in. If they end up in the lottery, I'm fine with it, right? I mean, we're not close enough yet, although we are now in the March, where I will actively root for one or the other. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Because getting in the lottery doesn't guarantee you get a guy that's going to be your franchise changer.
It does not.
So go compete. Go compete. And it's listening to the guys talk, especially since the trade deadline. Doesn't sound like any of those players are not trying to win games. They are trying to make the play-in, to make the playoffs. They want to extend their season. They want to win. I mean, I love the attitude from the struggling Spurs team, because they know where they want to go to, and they feel like they can get there.
I wouldn't want you on my team if you didn't want to win.
Agree.
I mean, come on. And that's why this whole talk about tanking is just so ludicrous in my mind because these young players that the Spurs have, I mean, there's no way you could even go in. Even if you told them, I command you, I order you to throw games. And they're not going to do that. It's just not in their DNA. They're going to go out and play to win. And that's what they're going to do. And so tanking is just the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of in the NBA. Now, apparently, allegedly, it happens in the NFL.
For money. But again, though, the players aren't trying to tank.
No.
And there were times last year, based on lineups, I knew Pop wasn't trying to win a game. Or you felt like Pop wasn't trying to win a game just by who was on the floor and who was on the bench. You know, but they've got, about 20 games left, or right at 20 games left?
Yeah.
Right at 20. You know, they are 24-38, so that's 62.
So, yeah.
So they've got 20 games left. They've got to make up a couple 3 just to get into the play-in. I think the idea of them actually getting into the playoffs is a pretty big chunk that doesn't seem realistic, but they can get into the playoffs by being in the play-in tournament, right? So you look at that with 20 games left and some, can't call them easy games because it's the Spurs, but a lot of winnable games. You know, you've got a game tonight against Sacramento, one of the few teams you're actually above in the standings.
Yep.
Right. You know, so you look at that and you go, okay, there you got the Lakers that are coming up. The Lakers in a free fall right now, and that's a team you need to knock out of the way to get into the play-in tournament. That Laker game, for a variety of reasons, is going to be a huge one.
Sure it is. And I think they've got New Orleans on the schedule at least one more time, and Portland as well. Portland, I'm not sure about, but I know New Orleans is on the schedule. So you've got your fate. And look, they're going to have to, you're going to have a winning record in these last 20 games to get this done. But it's not out of the realm of possibility, and I still believe they're going to get it done. Only 2 games back.
They got 2 with Portland coming up, actually.
Well, there you go.
Looking at the upcoming schedule, Sacramento tonight, Charlotte on Saturday, at Charlotte, which is weird. Home against the Lakers on Monday. You've got Toronto coming in. Then you got Utah, Indiana, Minnesota, Oak City, New Orleans, Golden State, Portland, New Orleans, Houston, Memphis, Portland, Denver, Minnesota, Golden State, and Dallas. You got Portland 3 times.
3 times. You've got New Orleans 20. Twice.
Yeah.
So their destiny's in their own hands.
And 2 with Golden State.
Just 1 more with the Lakers?
Yes. The Lakers game coming up Monday. So when you look at it, I mean, they've got some tough games coming up. They got another one against Memphis at home. Buy your tickets now March 30th to see Ja Morant, who's this week's MVP candidate based on what he did to the San Antonio Spurs.
No, it's still DeMar DeRozan.
Well, I mean, this week, Ja Morant worked his way into the MVP conversation.
Please. You sound like that guy that hosts a halftime show. Because now all of a sudden, Ja Morant is better than, Larry Bird and Kobe Bryant and all these other guys.
I didn't say that.
He's a great player.
He is a great player.
He's got a long way to go.
Oh, he does.
He's not going to be MVP.
He is not.
No.
But this week, he's in the conversation.
He's player of the week then. Okay. How about that? And no disrespect to the San Antonio Spurs, but he did that against the San Antonio Spurs, who are not the greatest defensive juggernaut on the planet.
You think Jakob Poeltl has recovered?
Probably not.
How many people sent him gifts or highlights of that dunk?
Oh,
and checked on him.
I'm sure there's already posters made.
Yeah, but his friends, how many? I mean, the fact that Tim and Manu hang out with the Spurs and they're around a lot. I'd be willing to bet Tim Duncan checked on him in a very sarcastic way.
Maybe.
Oh, I guarantee you.
But I don't know if Jakob's that kind of guy. I mean, Tim is a very funny guy and, joking around and his whole career he would do that. But you'd have to feel Jakob out. And maybe Timmy knows already that what Jakob is like.
I think Timmy gives a damn. He thought that was funny. You doing all right, bro? I guarantee Tim has done that.
Probably. And that's Tim.
And Jakob would take it and probably appreciate it.
Well, coming from Tim, what are you going to say? You can't really be upset. That's Tim Duncan saying that. And so
checking on you.
Yeah.
You all right? We all need to check on Jakob.
Wow.
Because that was vicious.
It was, but John Morant was spectacular that game. But again, and I don't mean any disrespect, but this Spurs team gives up a lot of points. They do. So giving up 52 to John Morant, he scored all the points. Nobody else scored anything, I don't think, or much else of anything. So I don't know. We will see. John Morant's a great player. He's got a long way to go. So can we cool the talk that he's better than Kobe or anybody else?
The only person that says that is Michael Jimenez.
Yeah, because it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous talk, honestly.
Yeah, but did you hear Jimenez today? More ridiculousness. If you missed it and you just want to be angry at somebody or something, just listen to Michael Jimenez. Go to sasportstar.com and hit the audio.
I was throwing stuff at the radio driving over here today.
Yeah.
And I'll hand Pledger some credit. Pledge was holding his feet to the fire.
Pledge kicked his ass today.
He did. I was going to be nicer than that. But yeah, Pledge, it was a TKO for sure.
Michael Jimenez walked out of this studio
bloody,
looking like Mario Barrios the other night in Las Vegas. Seriously. He tried to put up a good fight.
He tried.
He just got punched around left and right.
He just he needs to train a little more, a little harder. Maybe. I appreciate Michael, though. He throws out his takes, and then people respond, and he's a punching bag. That guy. He because the listeners will
they light him up.
We'll light him up too. So, all right. So I won't pick on him anymore. Okay.
You're such a bully, Joe.
John Morant is a great player. He's young and he's got a long way to go. Give me his resume at the end of the day, and then we'll start with the comparisons to Kobe Bryant, for goodness sake. I think the other one was Allen Iverson.
Yeah. It's one of those things.
We need to pump the brakes a little.
We'll talk some NFL coming up. Also, we've got some tickets to give away to go see Greta Van Fleet as we continue here on the Blitz.
You know what I want to do, and what always makes sports a lot more fun, is if you got a little something on the game. And I got a way that you can do that because, I enjoy that from time to time, putting a little something on the game. Well, here's what I want you to do. Go to busr.com because they have everything there. In fact, they've got a casino, a race book, a sports book. They've got it all. You can play blackjack. You can play roulette if you like to do that. Plus, they've got over 200 other casino games. You can bet on sports. In fact, I was looking at their website earlier, and they've got the sports there, all the lines. It's very easy to do. If you're a horse racing guy, you can do that as well, or girl. You can bet on just about everything at busr.com. Do you want some more, though? More incentive to go bet with these guys? How about this? A 100% deposit bonus exclusively for Sports Star listeners. So all you have to do is go to busr.com/SportsStar. Again, busr.com/SportsStar. BUSR. They are your cure for your betting blues.
And now, a man's thoughts on San Antonio Sports Star. What were you thinking?
That escalated quickly.
This is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 103.3 FM.
If you're shopping for a new vehicle, go see my friends over at Ancira Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram Truck, part of the Ancira I-10 Auto Complex. I have been a long-time Ancira customer, bought many cars from them through the years, including one that I have now. My daughter's car, my niece's car, all from Ancira. Half the people at the radio station are driving vehicles from Ancira, and it's because of their great customer service before, during, and most importantly, after the sale. They will make sure you get the best value on your trade-in, a vehicle that has all the options you're looking for at the best price, and they're going to give you the great rebates, financing options that are available, and price made Ancira number one. Price keeps Ancira number one. So think Ancira. Ancira Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram Truck, part of the Ancira I-10 Auto Complex on I-10 West between Wurzbach and Huebner.
I'm Serena Williams. You watch me live on TV.
And I'm that voice from movies you watch on demand. DirecTV Stream brought us together to save the world.
Maybe not save the world, but DirecTV Stream does bring your live and on-demand favorites together.
Your favorites together.
I just said that.
She just said that.
Introducing DirecTV Stream, the best of live TV and on demand with no annual contract. Get your TV together at DirecTV.com.
Requires high-speed internet and compatible device. Content varies by package and location. Restrictions apply.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Working from home, you realize you don't have enough outlets or USB ports. Hill Electric can fix that for you. For over 3 decades, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio homes and businesses. From adding an outlet, fixing that fuse that always blows, or that flickering light, Hill Electric has the right service at the right price, and there is never a service charge and always free estimates. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074. Or go to hill-electric.com.
Hello, Discover here to explain our cash back match. Here's how it works. We give you cash back for using your Discover card on the things you were going to buy anyway. Then we match that cash back in your first year. And that's why we call it Cash Back Match. Now to recap and say cash back one more time. We match all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year automatically. Discover. Exceptionally common sense. Learn more at discover.com/match. Limitations apply.
This is a metaphor for your business's journey. Sometimes it feels like the world is throwing everything it has at you, and to succeed, you need someone to guide you through. That's what Dell Technologies advisors do. They have the Windows PCs and tech advice to help you navigate whatever challenges you're up against and get you safely to where you want to be. Call an advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL. A start to a simpler experience with Windows 11 Pro.
Hey y'all, this is your girl Cheryl Underwood, and I want to tell you something. My digestive system used to make me feel sluggish, but those days are over. Now I feel great. That's because I increased my fiber intake with the Metamucil 2-week challenge, and I'm still hooked. I just took Metamucil every day for 14 days, and it's really that easy. Metamucil traps and removes the waste that weighs you down, so you feel lighter and more energetic. Now I never want to go back to that heavy feeling. Are you ready for the Metamucil 2-week challenge? For a coupon and daily support, sign up at Metamucil.com today.
Hi, this is Joe Reinagel. San Antonio Sports Star Drive to End Hunger is going on now through March 25th. Just go to sasportstar.com to give what you can or just find drop-off locations. It's all presented by the Institute for Functional Health, Rambler Sparkling Water, Copenhagen Imports, and Airtron.
Hey, this is Michael Jimenez. Have lunch with me on Halftime tomorrow at noon. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 103.3 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 103.3 FM. He's Joe Reinagel on Twitter at Joe Reinagel210. I'm Jason Minix on Twitter at Jason Minix. If you got a gig, you got any kind of event coming up, in an hour from now, give or so, we're going to do What's on Tap, brought to you by Sam's Burger Joint. So if you're playing around town, maybe you're having a big barbecue cook-off and you want to let people know about it, whatever event it might be, let us know. And we will talk about it coming up at 5:45.
I think we've got tickets to give away today.
We do have some tickets to give away.
Choked me up. That was so good.
You hate to give stuff away. I don't like to give stuff away. Greta Van Fleet. You got time to plan for this one? It's November 5th at the AT&T Center. The Dreams and Gold Tour 2022. You can buy tickets at livenation.com, or you could be caller number 12 right now at 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Caller number 12 on the Kia Bossa Bacon phone lines. You're going to win tickets to go see Greta Van Fleet.
Was that in honor of Roger Staubach?
Sure.
Maybe Tom Brady?
Maybe Bruce Bowen.
Maybe Bruce Bowen.
Okay, it wasn't.
Okay, none of those.
As you were just telling me, why always 9?
Well, because you're a Tony Romo fan.
Yes.
Yeah, I was too, actually.
Might be Mike Madonna.
Mike, is he 9?
Do you know who Mike Madonna is?
I've heard of him. He's a hockey player, right?
Hey, very good.
How about that?
I mean, you're doing pretty good today.
Not bad,
Are you feeling okay?
I feel great.
Can we talk about what you had to do earlier today?
Oh, well, yeah, we can. You know, every now and then I'll go and get looked at by a dermatologist.
Okay.
And so that was today. Usually it's a year or so. It just, sometimes it'll go longer than that. It just depends. But my beautiful wife, Maggie, always kind of hounds me about doctor's appointments. Now, I guess she thinks I'm getting old. Well, she's not the only one. So I go into the doctor, and it's one of those all-over checks, right? They're going to check everything on your body. So first thing you have to do is take all your clothes off except for your drawers, and then you put on these goofy hospital shorts.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Sure.
So she's checking everything, and she's going through. She sees a spot on my back she doesn't like. We're going to have to biopsy that. I said, okay. So then she's got her little magnifying glass out, and she's looking at it. She said, well, that's an SK. That's okay. I'm not worried about it. That's an SK. And I'm not worried about that. That's an SK. And I finally look at her and say, well, what's an SK?
Yeah.
So she looks at me and she says, well, an SK is something that you get from your parents. And it usually doesn't show up until, well, a little later. And I said, when you get old? And she goes, she looked at me and said, mature.
Mature, huh?
Mature. So what she's telling me in a nice way is that I guess those are age spots.
Age spots? Old man spots?
Something to that effect.
Okay. And you got a lot of them?
I guess I had quite a few because she said SK quite a few times.
But that means it's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
They're just old people spots.
She's not worried about that at all. And then the worst part about the whole thing was biopsying the spot on my back, because they give you the shot of lidocaine or whatever.
Yeah. Numb it up.
I mean, that kind of hurts.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a little needle in your back, and then she's moving that thing all around. And so that kind of hurt, but I never felt her cut the thing.
Okay.
Until I'm walking out and I feel a stream of blood going down my back. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? So anyway, they fixed that up, patched me up, and here I am. So overall, for an old guy, even though I got a lot of spots, I'm in pretty good shape, according to the dermatologist.
And we'll find out the results.
Yes, she didn't say
in
when.
A couple of weeks.
Yeah,
probably they'll
like that,
send it off
guess.
somewhere.
Yeah.
But just so you know, Ryan Engel's playing hurt today. He had minor surgery earlier today, but it showed up at work.
It was just, it hasn't bothered me until I got in the car to drive over here, because it's right in the small of the back, and you sit to drive. Other than that, I'm fine.
So how awkward with this lady doctor going over every inch of your skin with a magnifying glass?
Yeah. It wasn't awkward. She was great.
Okay.
She was really nice. Dr. Lou, I believe is how you pronounce her name. She was great and was very pleasant and happy.
I'm just on a day where in the sports world, hand size is a big issue. You've got a woman up close and personal needing a magnifying glass.
I would assume her hands were pretty small. I mean, that's just my assumption. She was not a big person. But she handled that magnifying glass as good as any NFL quarterback would have.
Hand size talk as we continue here on the Blitz on San Antonio Sports Star. If you're going to grill this weekend, before you do, make sure you get into Tri-County Meat Market. They got two great locations, one on Huebner, the other on Welfare Road. And you go into Tri-County Meat Market, they're locally owned and they're full service. And what that means is, if you're unsure about a cut of meat, they'll tell you what you're looking for, how to cook it, various options on how to cook it. If you don't know what you want, walk in and let that meat counter talk to you, because something's going to jump off and you might think you're going in, you want to get some ribeyes, and all of a sudden you've got something else, because that's what happens at Tri-County Meat Market. You walk in, all of a sudden, you're going to see some tri-tips. You're going to see some picanha. You'll see the tomahawks. You see all the great steaks there, beef, chicken, pork. Their fajitas are incredible. Their poppers. They've got it all there from Tri-County Meat Market. Always take advantage of their Pick 5 for 25, and Tri-County Meat Market offers a 10% discount for military and first responders. Tri-County Meat Market on Huebner Road and on Ralph Fair Road. Go to the website, tricountymeat.com.
Didn't catch R&R in the morning? Here's what you missed.
Hank the Tank is a black bear that lives in the Lake Tahoe region on the California side. Is responsible for 29 confirmed break-ins around this community.
Texas, it would have been like, dude would have been on the front page with his arm around the bear.
Got him from 150 yards.
And you know what we'd be saying to Texas? Hey, man, he broke in his house. He got what he deserved.
Rob Thompson, Rudy J. Weekday morning 7 to 10 on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 103.3 FM.
You can talk low carb all you want, but if you don't have a lineup of great tasting snacks behind you, you're not going to win the keto game. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds are high protein and low carb. Plus, they're low sugar, gluten-free, and naturally loaded in collagen. So it is a no-brainer. Get the bold flavors of Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at HEB and online at southernrecipesmallbatch.com.
Southern Recipe pork rinds.
Injuries happen, so if you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Dr. Espinosa treats all non-surgical orthopedic injuries and has same-day and next-day availability. Telemedicine services are also available. There is no reason to be in pain. If you are hurting, visit Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Learn more at TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com, or schedule your appointment by calling 210-804-5490.
Now an important message from Exergen. A critical new FDA study proves that the widely used non-contact thermometers are not accurate and have high probabilities for false negative readings. New COVID strands are on the rise, and non-contact manufacturers are being irresponsible at a time when accuracy matters most. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. Don't wait. Switch to Exergen because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Live, local, loud. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN, AM 1250 and 103.3 FM. Joe Reinagel, Jason Minix, The Blitz.
It is The Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 103.3 FM. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Glad to have you along here on a Thursday afternoon. Lots of NFL news on this Thursday. You want to chime in? Easy to do on the Kia Bossa Bacon phone lines, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. On Twitter, he is at Joe Reinagel 210. You can tweet at me at Jason Minix.
I'm very excited. And I don't know, maybe I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but we're going to have a big party a week from tomorrow.
We are.
Can we talk about that?
Well, we talked about it. It's awesome to speak something into existence.
Right.
So if you haven't heard, Ryan Engel retired from television.
Yes.
So he now only has one job. He's a slacker.
Slacker.
And we were talking about this the other day, calling him a slacker. And he's got a gazillion ties that he vows never to wear again. Now, I highly recommend you keep 4 or 5.
I will.
Weddings, funerals, but you don't need 50.
No.
So we're going to get rid of those ties. Now, we got to figure out a safe way to do it because our company is always very concerned about liability issues.
Of course.
Because what we originally going to do, or the original thought, probably isn't covered by our insurance policy.
The original thought was to have like a bonfire, right?
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, that probably won't work out.
And Chief Hood would probably call us and say that's not a good idea.
He had some great things to say, though. I really appreciate
Chief
him.
Hood's the best.
Yeah, he's
Love
great.
that man.
He's awesome.
And then we thought, well, we'll just cut him off Joe's neck. But Joe realized a whole bunch of drunk people with scissors around his face probably isn't a good idea.
Yeah, not into that.
Are you sure?
No.
So we'll figure out something to do. But we're going to shred Joe's ties.
Yes.
And give away prizes.
We get a not a wood shedder, but what is the paper? I don't know if that would do a tie or not.
It's not going to do a tie.
That's not going to do a tie.
We're not going to spend money on a quality shredder that would take a tie.
Well, we'll figure it out.
But we're going to do something to get rid of Joe's ties.
Yes.
And give away prizes next Friday out at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar, the Medical Center location.
We'll be live. We'll do the show live out there from 4 to 7. And then I would assume we'll hang around and party a little bit. That's my assumption.
You assume correctly, sir.
Yes, of course.
Have we done an event? You're full-time radio now going on month 3.
Yes.
Have we been at a great bar and left at 7:02?
No, we haven't. Even when I had to go to the other job, I stuck around for a little while.
Yep. So make your plans now to party with Reinagel. We're calling it what? Reinegel's Return to Radio?
Reinegel's Return to Radio. Yes. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. It really is. And I know everybody from Alpha Media and certainly Sports Star, Rudy J. and Rob will be there Jimenez will be there.
It'll be fun.
It'll be a lot of fun.
There might be a superstar wide receiver in the NFL there too. I'm working on that.
There might be.
He's coming into town. I just got to convince him to come drink with us.
Well, if anybody can do that, you can. I saw you in action Super Bowl week, and
we saw
I was
this
very
guy
impressed.
On Radio Row.
We saw him.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Have I even told you what I'm working on?
No, you haven't. This is the first I'm hearing. You're unveiling, so you're breaking news right here.
But I don't want to say it yet in case because I don't have it confirmed yet. I mean, he's going to be on the show. I know that.
Okay.
But instead of him calling in,
he should come in.
He's doing a camp on Saturday, so you're coming in on Friday. Come drink with us at Slackers.
That'd be great.
That's the idea.
I was thrilled with the birthday party the other day. We had Malcolm Brown.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love that guy, by the way.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So make your plans now next Friday. If you've got events this weekend, let us know because we'll do What's on Tap coming up at 5:45. You know, every year I say I can really give a damn about the combine.
Right.
Then every year I'm glued to the combine. There's parts of it I think are stupid. Parts of it are entertaining. But it's fun. But I look at some of what's going on with the combine. To me, it's always the hand size talk, right? Because there's plenty of quarterbacks that don't have the largest hands in the world that do well. Well, today, the Pickett kid apparently has the smallest hands in the history of hand size. And literally, I might have heard on this radio station from Michael Jimenez that that's going to be an issue in cold weather. The guy played at the University of Pittsburgh.
Yes, he did.
Last I checked, that's cold weather city.
It is.
And it didn't seem to affect him.
He was pretty good, actually.
And he also wears a glove.
Yeah.
Which also helps. I understand the idea behind the whole hand size thing, but I think we make too big of a deal about the hand size thing.
Well, Tom Brady didn't have the biggest hands either, and that's why he was all with the deflate gate thing.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you. I mean, you've picked up an NFL football.
Yeah.
I mean, to get your hand around it, to throw a pass, you've got to have decent size hands or a pretty good technique, which I'm assuming some of these guys that don't have the largest hands have and have worked on. But they're big. I mean, they really are big, and they're hard.
Mm-hmm.
We're
That won't
talking
be a
about
promo
football.
at all. That won't be a promo at all.
We're football. We're footballs. We're talking about NFL
this
size.
Is James Pledger somewhere is laughing.
I know he is.
He just had a spit take.
Yeah, he did.
Yes. But I mean, you look at it, that's what it is. We're going to get a lot of talk about 40 times coming up.
Mm-hmm.
The kid from UTSA, Wooten, might break the record.
Yeah.
Okay. But no pads. I want to see the combine. What are these guys doing in football gear? Yeah, show me football speed, not 40-yard dash speed.
You know, I don't know, Jason, because the way the NFL is now, there's very little football, especially in training camp. I mean, with pads on, full speed, and all that stuff.
But when you get into a game, you know, when was the last time you had to have an offensive lineman run 40 yards, right? I mean,
it's a good point.
But I would rather see what these guys can do weighted down with shoulder pads and a helmet than wearing their, you know, the term underwear Olympics, because they're not wearing much.
No.
I mean, if it was cold outside, they could have similar issues as the Finnish cross-country skier from the Olympics, especially if they're doing that in Indianapolis and decide they want to run outside.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not wearing much.
No, they're not. And it's understandable because that's how they're graded.
Sure.
You know, and that's what guys are looking at. But I think this is really, this obviously has turned into more for guys that are going to be drafted in later rounds. And so, you know, I'm not sure how much it means. And a lot of these guys will have their pro days, and that's where they want to show off. And if you're a star player, if you're a first-round pick or even a second-round pick in a lot of occasions, I mean, they're going to have enough game film on you, and maybe that's the determination.
Well, and I look at the combine, what I appreciate more than anything is every coach has to talk. And
that's what I love about it.
And so you learn information. Like Lovie Smith. The longer Lovie Smith is the head coach of the Houston Texans, like every time I hear something from Lovie Smith since he got the job, I like the hire. And I said it when they hired him. They got the right guy. They just took a weird route to get
to
the right guy.
Into the right guy.
They did. But Lovie Smith, you could tell, is taking over this football team.
Yep.
He was asked because Nick Caserio, the general manager, would be on the headsets with David Culley during games, telling him what to do. Lovie Smith was asked, is Nick Caserio going to be on the headsets now that you're head coach?
Nick did what he thought was required or that they had agreed upon, his role.
Got it.
He had been a part of kind of the coaching staff at other places he's been, but it's a different year. I've never had the GM involved like that on game day. Don't plan on doing that part. We'll all have roles, and we have a coaching staff I feel like can handle all of those situations on game day, and of course Nick is okay with that.
Yeah, Nick, you're not allowed on the headsets. You're nowhere near any headsets. That was a very nice way of him saying, hell no, are you nuts?
Well, and that's what makes things so sad with David Culley. The way he was treated and the way things happened there in Houston. But yeah, you're right. Lovie Smith can say, look, dude, you're on the headsets, then you better come down here and coach because I'm out.
That's it.
Lovie Smith is not going to put up with that kind of stuff, nor should he. And again, if Nick Caserio can't see how they lucked out, because they would have McCown as their head coach had things not worked out the way they did. They got the best hire they could have possibly gotten, and he was in their building all along.
And then the timeline of Deshaun Watson, because lots of quarterback conversation over the last 24 hours there at the Combine in Indianapolis. Lovie Smith just wants the Deshaun situation to get over with already.
I have no idea. And the good part about it is time kind of takes care of everything, you know. I just know I know Deshaun is an excellent football player. Excellent football players need to be playing somewhere, in NFL. And hopefully that'll happen. And if it's not with us, somewhere else. And I'm sure, as I see in this situation, both of us eventually are going to benefit from the situation. I just can't wait for that to, speed up a little bit.
I can't wait till I don't have to answer Deshaun Watson questions, is what he just said.
Well, that's exactly right, because it's been a distraction for that football team for over a year now, if not longer. And you want to get stuff like that over with. You want to start concentrating on football. And that's why, you can go back to some of the players that were controversial and why they didn't get opportunities in the NFL, because nobody wanted that circus in the locker room. Now with reporters going to be able to go back into the locker room and obviously talk with Lovie Smith pretty much on a daily basis once they get into OTAs and, of course, training camp. You don't want every question to start out about, well, what's going on with Deshaun Watson?
They want to get it done, and it's interesting. There's a timeline, and I liked how Lovie Smith said that. Time will take care of itself. It will happen. It will happen sooner rather than later. While in some ways Deshaun Watson is holding up the Houston Texans, they know how that story is going to end. They just don't have it written yet. He's not going to be there. For the Green Bay Packers, they don't know what's going on with Aaron Rodgers. He's holding that organization by the nuts right now. And, Matt LaFleur was asked about it. And I thought it was interesting the way LaFleur answered about his star quarterback.
Yeah, you always want to be respectful, because I know it's a lot to take on. And he's got a lot to think about. And certainly I'm making sure that I consistently communicate with him, but also want to be respectful of his time and the process that he has to go through.
So I want to annoy him daily with text messages, but I don't. But you're the head coach. You should. You made a decision yet?
Yeah.
Daily?
I would. What are you going to do if you're Aaron Rodgers? You basically have two choices in this matter. You either negotiate a trade, if that's what you want with Green Bay, or you retire. Those are his only options. So I don't know where is that how he's holding it over their head? I might retire. If you don't treat me nice, I'm out.
Well, the thing is, though, like last year he had the whole situation in the offseason. The Green Bay Packers redid his deal.
Yep.
And basically gave him the freedom to do this year. And Aaron Rodgers says he's going to make a decision quickly. Well,
too late.
Start of free agency is what, March 17th?
I believe you're right.
So
yes.
Is he going to let everybody know on the 16th?
Well, he needs to because of Devontae Adams.
Well, and that's not the only one, really. I mean, Mike Tannenbaum, who on Get Up, former GM with the Jets and the Dolphins and all that kind of stuff, he said that Aaron Rodgers on Get Up is just being flat out selfish.
Yeah, Kevin, Swagoo nailed it. Aaron Rodgers is being selfish. Let's make no mistake about it. He is being very selfish because he's known for a while what he's going to do. And specifically, if he's talking about being a great teammate, let's look at this graphic. When we talk about guys like Preston Smith, Billy Turner, Randall Cobb, these guys all have non-guaranteed money, Kevin. If they are going to be released, they much rather be released on March 2nd than on March 17th, March 18th, because right now there's more money available as teams head into free agency than there would be a week or two into free agency.
Now I hadn't really thought about it in that regard. I think about Devontae Adams because Adams is going to make a decision based on what Aaron Rodgers is going to do. But all those other guys, everybody's in Indianapolis right now. They're going to dinner over at St. Elmo's, getting steak, getting that shrimp cocktail. And if you're an agent and say you're Randall Cobb's agent and he's gone because Aaron Rodgers is gone, you're working your new deal right now. Even though it can't get signed for a couple of weeks, you're working that deal now. And right now the banks are open. Nobody's committed any money yet. But because you're kind of tied to Aaron Rodgers, you can't make that decision. You can't make that move.
Why? Why can't you?
You're tied to Aaron Rodgers.
They drafted Jordan Love, didn't they? Thinking he was the next thing. So if everybody thinks that, then you're in Green Bay either way, if that's what you want to do. I mean, I don't understand. See, when I hear that guy talk about Aaron Rodgers being selfish, and I'm not a huge Aaron Rodgers fan, trust me. But when I hear, then you better be saying that about every other NFL player that holds his team hostage. Zeke Elliott did the same thing. Were we talking about him being selfish? No. What we were talking about then was, well, Zeke's got to get his money, and he's just doing what he thinks is right for him and his family. Well, maybe Aaron Rodgers is doing the same thing. So why is Aaron Rodgers selfish and everybody else in the NFL that does the same thing is not?
When you're holding out, trying to get more money, that's one thing. He's deciding if he's going to stay or go.
That's his decision, and it affects him and his family. Same thing.
But the selfish part, it affects a whole bunch of people, and you got to believe that Aaron Rodgers knows what he wants to do. Do you really think that Aaron Rodgers on the 3rd day of March at 5:17 in the afternoon doesn't already know?
I don't know what Aaron Rodgers knows or doesn't know.
Do you really think that he hasn't made a decision yet?
Even if he has, so what? Devontae Adams is going to be playing somewhere and making a lot of money regardless.
Yeah.
Randall Cobb, maybe he shouldn't be playing anymore. Okay, he's not going to be making any money anywhere. So his future, he's already made his money. So I'm not too concerned about a guy like Randall Cobb, to be honest with you. So all I'm saying is that football players do this all the time. So why is everybody now, it's Aaron Rodgers is selfish when nobody else calls anybody else that does the same thing selfish?
I think they do. I think they do. There's a time when you're holding out for a new contract. There are times that you are selfish. In this case, he's got a contract. He just doesn't know if he wants to stay there. Is he going to stay there or is he going to leave? And he's going to make a decision, and he said quickly. Now, his definition of quickly, apparently different than my definition of quickly. Certainly sounds like it's very different of Mike Tannenbaum's definition of quickly. And the head coach is texting him every day. What are you thinking? What the groveling, the whatever it might be that he's making and forcing the Packers to do. And maybe because it is the personality of Aaron Rodgers where you feel like he is just doing that to be a jerk.
And he may be, and he is a jerk. So it doesn't matter. It makes no difference. Aaron Rodgers has been an MVP. He's won a Super Bowl. Doesn't Aaron Rodgers have the right to take his time to make a decision on whether he wants to retire or not?
But he's not going to retire. And we all know he's not
Okay.
going to retire.
So
did you see the way he played this year? The guy's got 5, 6, 8 good years left in him based off what we've seen the last couple.
I don't know. He didn't look
Does
too
he-
good against San Francisco.
Does he want to? And he didn't look good the first game and the last game. All the games in between got him his 4th MVP award. Steve Sosa on Facebook Live says likability determines whether you're selfish or not. And you know what? There's probably a lot of truth to that.
Well, Steve is a likable guy, so
Have you met him?
yeah, I've met. Yes, I know Steve.
Yeah,
so he's a likable.
It's debatable.
Aaron Rodgers is a jerk. He is okay, but he's a talented quarterback who still has some years left. So you know what? If he wants to play this thing out, so what? And if you're these other guys, you've got agents. Have them start talking to people. And what are you, just sitting at home playing dominoes and drinking iced tea? Not, of course they're not. They're thinking about their future right now. And you know, the Packers drafted Jordan Love. It irritated Aaron Rodgers. It told Aaron Rodgers that they were ready to move on and find their future quarterback. That's what it said to him. So if Aaron Rodgers wants to make the Packers squirm a little bit, you know what? I'm all for it. I think he's doing the right thing. Take your time, Aaron, and you make that decision when you're ready to make it. Drop the mic. Bam.
You and Michael Jimenez should do a show.
Michael Jimenez.
I mean,
I'm living in the real world here.
Dude, I just, sure. I make a decision already. Make a decision. You know what your decision is. At the very least, if you can do it and keep it quiet, let the people that need to know.
Devontae Adams knows. I guarantee you Devontae Adams already knows. Because those guys, they're buds, okay?
They are. And
so
again,
he knows already.
And again, it's what you say to the media and what you say to your friends or to the other executives at dinner over at St. Elmo. Literally everybody's at St. Elmo's, right? You can't get a table, right? I mean, it's one of those things. But like all the Russell Wilson talk, right? Did you hear Pete Carroll and what he had to say about Russell Wilson?
I did.
How do you lie to people's face like this?
This conversation is about everybody. We're talking about everybody. And that's commonplace for us to have conversations with teams about all of the players, particularly marquee players.
So marquee players, Pete
Russell
Carroll,
Wilson.
You want me to believe that Jerry is entertaining trade talks with Dak Prescott, and it happens all the time with marquee players. That Kansas City is having trade talks about Patrick Mahomes. Washington called and they laughed at him.
Yeah.
I credit Washington calling him. But to tell me that it's commonplace for every organization to have a conversation about every player, that's BS, Pete Carroll.
And you're right about that. So obviously they're fielding calls for Russell Wilson, is what that tells me.
Yes.
They are fielding calls, and they're going to see if anything there interests them moving forward for Russell Wilson to move on. And Russell Wilson has got to be looking at this because, what is Seattle bringing back? They really don't have a lot. They've got a couple of good wide receivers, but their running game has been
awful,
horrible. So what do they have coming back? Russell Wilson may want to be getting out of there. And so, that's what they're saying. They're fielding offers right there. I just want to say, I'm getting hammered over here on this Facebook Live for this Aaron Rodgers.
Are you kidding? This says Joe is 100% right.
Well, that's Pledger, and he loves me. So he's going to say that anyway.
True.
But look, if you want the rules to be different, make them different. There was one, I think Renee sent out, it should be made before the combines. Well, then they need to negotiate that. The NFL,
that's part of the CBA.
It needs to be put in there.
The reality is, and I think what Pledge is trying to say is, there's no loyalty from teams to players when they get older.
That's exactly right.
And so Aaron Rodgers has every right to do what he's doing right now. But once you've made your decision, you're holding up all these other players. And I think that's where Tannenbaum is going. I don't think Mike Tannenbaum has an issue that Aaron Rodgers is in a position to make this decision that the Packers basically granted him last year to get him to come to work. We'll redo your deal, and this year we'll be able to figure it out. But it affects so many other people. And if you tell me,
but it happens all the time.
It does. But if you tell me, and this year he becomes the whipping boy, next year it's going to be somebody else who is doing this. And every year there's going to be that one player that's in the situation that everybody gets mad at because that's the main domino. Once that one falls, we're going to start seeing all the other movement. And it's like you're at the race, you go out to Retama, and the horses get in there, and then they got to bring them back out because the horse wasn't ready. And then they reload the starting gate, and there's another issue, and then they bring them back out. And then they just start the race already.
Devontae Adams knows exactly what Aaron Rodgers is going to do. That he's been told. So he's working on whatever deal he needs to be working on. His agent's taking care of that. And you don't see Devontae Adams out there complaining about it, do you? Have you heard him publicly? I haven't heard Randall Cobb say a word either. So if it bothers them so much, how come they're not out in the media saying, well, Aaron Rodgers is screwing me because he's not making a decision? They haven't said a word. Players do this because at the end of the day, Jason, and I hate that phrase, by the way, so if I say it again, throw something at me.
Hang on.
After it's all said and done, it is a business.
It is.
Aaron Rodgers is a business.
Yep.
So he can do what he wants. He's earned that right. And if he wants to take his time and make the Packers squirm, I'm all for it. Rudolph Renee. Sorry. Oh, okay. Well, we're friends, Renee.
So to explain what that means is apparently only his friends call him Renee.
Right.
You're not allowed.
Well, I just did. We're friends.
No.
Well, yeah,
I
we
mean,
are.
He wants you to stop that.
No, he doesn't. He said thank you.
Yeah.
Very
He's just
much.
a polite guy.
I think it was thank you, Joe. And we're buddies, and I'm going to buy you a beer. I think that's what he said.
Yeah, next Friday he'll show up and buy you a beer at Slackers on Fredericksburg Road, the medical center location. Combine's going on this weekend. What you need to do on Saturday and Sunday when you're sitting out there watching the combine with a cold beverage in your hand, make sure you grill up some great Kielbasa sausage because you can't watch football without some great Kielbasa sausage from Kielbasa Smoked Meats. It's great when you pull it right off the grill, wrap it in a flour tortilla. In fact, Kielbasa, great San Antonio company, started here in San Antonio back in 1949. They selected the length of their sausage to fit perfectly in a tortilla. Think about the sausage wrap. It was invented by Kielbasa Smoked Meats. That's why they do their sausage lengths the way they do, and others are just wrong because they're not Kielbasa. They're not as good. Kielbasa Smoked Meats, the best sausage you're going to eat anywhere. And so watching the combine, get your cold beverage, get your tortilla, and make sure you get into the grocery store, get yourself some Kielbasa today.
The General, John McClain, coming up right after this Sports Center update. And the NFL making some moves today. In fact, the NFL and the Players Union have agreed to drop all COVID-19 regulations, restrictions, all of that stuff. Teams, however, can implement mandates if they so choose. And the league says that if things change, they can put them back in. But immediately, COVID-19 rules in the NFL. Yep, locker rooms are open. Cowboys, well, they're expected to be without tight end Blake Jarwin for the start of the regular season. Jarwin had surgery last month, and apparently it was for a very rare problem with his hip that is uncommon for NFL players. We'll have to see what his future holds. Spurs are back in action tonight. They are at home. They're trying to snap a 2-game losing streak. They'll take on the Sacramento Kings. For San Antonio Sports Star, I'm Joe Reinagel.
If you're missing some teeth, if you're having some issues, you need to know about River City Oral Surgery. Maybe you're a little embarrassed when you laugh or smile because of those missing teeth, which can also affect how you use your mouth. If you're having trouble speaking, eating, chewing properly, you can correct these issues with dental implants. They look natural, they feel natural, they stay securely in place, and they're built to last a lifetime with proper care. Dr. Mark Havercorn at River City Oral Surgery is an oral surgeon and a medical doctor who specializes in all types of oral surgery, including implants. In fact, last year alone, he placed over 1,200 dental implants. And at River City Oral Surgery, they're a direct care practice. You don't need a referral, and they won't take your insurance. Prices are listed right on the website, rivercityoms.com, and financing is available. If you need one implant, You need to replace all your teeth with implants. Maybe you just need your wisdom teeth out, a tooth pulled. You can get all that done at River City Oral Surgery. Call 210-778-0002 and tell them Jason Minnick sent you for comfortable, natural-looking implants. River City Oral Surgery, rivercityoms.com.
My name is Jason Thompson. I've lived in San Antonio for 50 years. I went to school here. I graduated from law school here. San Antonians have trusted me as their attorney after a serious injury or a fatality collision for more than 27 years. If you're in your car right now, chances are you're seeing an attorney billboard, and you'll probably see 3 or more of those on your commute today. How do you decide who to call? Who to trust? I want you to call me, Jason Thompson. I'm experienced. I have a long track record of success, and I run my firm like my father did for over 50 years of practicing law here. I believe that a personal, trusting relationship with my client matters. With my firm, I meet with you. I answer your questions. I handle your case. For many lawyers you see on the billboard, your case will not be handled by the attorney on that billboard. If you call me, Jason Thompson, I will be the lawyer you speak with. If you or your family needs an experienced attorney, an attorney you can trust, an attorney that will personally handle all of the issues after a serious injury or fatality, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson, 900-0400, 210-900-0400, or my website, alawyerforus.com.
When it comes to getting work done on your property, get the power, comfort, and quality you need by choosing Kubota compact construction equipment, like excavators, skid loaders, and track loaders. At Ewald Kubota, we have all the equipment you need, whether you're buying or renting. And we know you need the reliable, dependable equipment Kubota is known for. Right now, all new rental customers get 10% off their first rental. This is our way of saying welcome to your neighborhood Ewald Kubota dealership. For more information, visit ewaldkubota.com.
TrackPhone wants to know, are you an influencer? A big live streamer? No? Then guess what? You don't need an endless data plan. Get just the right amount of data with TrackPhone's $40 unlimited talk and text smartphone plan. Now with 8 gigs of high-speed data in unlimited carryover on America's largest, most dependable network, now with 5G. Get the data you need at the price you want. TrackPhone Wireless. Now you're in control. Available at major retailers. 5G compatible device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. See terms and conditions at trackphone.com.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel teaches you conversations that you will actually use. With 14 languages and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll learn what matters most to you. Babbel. Language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Joe Reinagel, Jason Minnick, The Blitz on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250, 103.3 FM.
It is The Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 103.3 FM. He is Joe Reinagel. I am Jason Minnick. 5:30 on a Thursday, time to talk to the General. John McClain of the Houston Chronicle joining us now as he does every week. Get the latest on the combine, everything happening up in Indianapolis. John, how's your Thursday?
Jason and Joe, my day is going great. I hope yours is too. This is the first combine I've not attended since it moved to Indy in 1987, other than last year when the pandemic caused it to be canceled. But I'm writing stories every day. I'm watching it on television, and our beat writer, Brooks Cabina from the Chronicle, he's there for the first time doing a great job.
Outstanding.
So he gets to go eat at St. Elmo's in your place?
Yeah, if I never go to St. Elmo's, I think it's the most overrated steak place in the country. And but if I want one of their red hot boiled shrimps that they're famous for, you get 4 shrimp for like $18.95. And the reason it's set apart is because they put so much horseradish in their sauce. And if you want that, you don't need to go to Elmo's. Right down the street's Harry and Izzy's with the exact same menu.
Nice. Okay. Well, the next time I'm in
Pro tip.
Indianapolis, yeah, that's a vet move right there. John, I got to tell you, we heard from Lovie Smith today, and the more I hear from that guy, the more I am convinced that the Houston Texans won the lottery.
Well, they sure hope you're right, Joe, because it took him a while to figure it out when he was right there under his nose. And I can't remember if I told you guys this week, I've compared it to, like, you see these romantic comedies where a guy's got a best friend, a woman, and she's inviting him on all his dates, and it never works out. And then he realizes she's been right there under his nose the whole time. He comes to his senses. They fall in love and live happily ever after. Now, Lovie Smith is going to get fired at some point because all coaches do. But he has come in and where they had so much turmoil with the coaching search, and they looked so bad when they were about to name Josh McCown as the head coach with no experience. And then all of a sudden, after the Brian Flores lawsuit, caused him to take a step back, reevaluate, and there's Lovie. And so Lovie had been working on the search because he's an associate head coach with so many connections that they used him to check out potential candidates. So they interviewed him and officially interviewed him next day, announced him that afternoon. And he's been very smart. He's been in Chicago 9 years, Tampa 2 years. If you look at what he did the last 8 years with the Bears, he was 24 games over 500. Coach of the year, Super Bowl he lost. Then with the Bucs, he played a rookie quarterback, Jameis Winston. They improved by 4 wins, and he got fired because they wanted their offensive coordinator, Dirk Cutter, to be the head coach with Jameis Winston. So then he went to the University of Illinois, and I contend, Joe and Jason, had he come back and just been a defensive coordinator, he would have had that third chance before now. But the Texans have been really pleased to this point. He's going to run the defense. Pep Hamilton will run the offense. They got the coaches they wanted, and so they know who the quarterback is. They do have a lot of pieces in place, but they still have a whole lot of needs, starting with the running game and the pass rush.
Well, and one of the things that we heard from Lovie Smith on the podium that I appreciated the most, outside of the player issues that they're obviously going to be doing work on there in Indianapolis, is hell no, Nick Caserio is not going to be on the headsets with me during the game.
Well, he did it with Bill Belichick for years because Belichick asked him to. He was on the headset with Belichick and offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels because he'd been a coach 2 different times, and they appreciated his opinion. So he did that here last year with David Culley, continuing what he did. And Culley, wasn't going to tell him no, but I think it's interesting that Lovie has said that. Obviously, they had it worked out because that's one of the first things he was asked at his news conference about Caserio being on the headset. And another thing Caserio does, and he did in New England, he goes to practice, he puts on his practice clothes, and he throws passes to the receivers as like he's one of the quarterbacks, and he runs around during practice like he's still a coach. He doesn't interfere, and it's all very subtle. But we got a kick out of watching him last year in training camp, and I don't know if he'll still do that. But he's the general manager, and he's the boss. He can do anything he wants. And if Lovie doesn't want him doing that, he's smart not to do it.
I just like the direction that Lovie has brought to this thing, and it seems like a discipline that the Texans haven't had in some time. Obviously, John, they've got to rebuild. They've got to get this team back on track, and I know we talk about this every week, but I guess the best way they're going to be able to do that, or certainly one of the ways, is to trade Deshaun Watson. I know there's rumors out there all over the place, and I know you guys there in Houston, and you know this better than anybody, are just kind of in a holding pattern. But have you heard anything else? Or is it just that we're just in a holding pattern until he gets this thing worked out?
Absolutely not. You're not hearing anything. If you do, it's people making it up. They're waiting to see how it plays out. Nobody's going to make a trade for him with 22 civil suits accusing him of sexual assault and sexual misconduct. And one other thing, I can't remember what it was, but they're hoping to eventually get it worked out. Lovie has said when he's asked, he'd like to get it done, but he's patient because they don't have any other choice but to be patient. They have 9 draft choices right now. They have first, second, and third round, 2 picks in the third round. So they're in good shape for the first time since they drafted Titus Howard, number 1 in 2019, because Bill O'Brien's trades cost them the last 2 number 1s and number 2 last year. Then next year, they already have 10 draft choices. So you don't want too many rookies. Like any trade for Watson's going to be spread out. They're not going to say, okay, we want, if you got 2 ones and you're 2, because I always tell people too many rookies is like a salad with too much green. It's just not as good. So I think any trade would include players over the next couple of years. Problem is they here's where they're in a predicament. Of the teams that were interested last year, teams like the Jets and the 49ers and the Bears in New England, they all drafted quarterbacks in the first round. So they're out of the market. And so now, even though there's no great quarterback prospect, if you are a team like, say, Carolina is 6th and Denver's 9th, they were 2 of the most interested teams along with Philadelphia and Miami all the way up to the trade deadline, even though Watson said he would only go to Miami. Now Miami's out of the picture, and he can still turn teams down because it had no trade clause. But I'm guessing he's going to end up in Carolina or Denver. Well, what if one of them takes Kenny Pickett and the other one takes Malik Willis or Matt Corral? They're not going to trade for Watson, even though he's much better than they are and a proven product. If they use a first-round pick on a quarterback, they're going to give that quarterback time. So then there are even fewer options. And so it's out of both of their hands. Watson has no control, and the Texans don't either.
John McClain of the Houston Chronicle joining us here on the Blitz as he does every Thursday. And, you know, Watson is one of many quarterbacks that are maybe going to be on a different team next year. You know, Russell Wilson in Seattle, where will he end up? Aaron Rodgers still has to make a decision. When you look at some of the marquee big-name quarterbacks that could be on the move, which one, John, do you think most likely is to end up on a different team?
Well, I've said for 2 years, Jason, it won't be Wilson. He'll be there, and it won't be Aaron Rodgers. He'll be in Green Bay because Rodgers is all about money. He won't say that, of course, but when his agent went to Green Bay after the 2020 season, shortly, and came back without a contract extension, that's when it was leaked to Adam Schefter. He thought about retiring, and it's been a constant source of controversy ever since. But the Packers have done everything he could possibly want, including dusting off quarterback coach Tom Clements to come back. So I fully expect him to be there with an extension. Russell Wilson has told everybody who listens he's going to be back. But a lot of people in the media generate hits, try to create controversy by acting like there's still a chance. And I don't know what else Russell Wilson or Pete Carroll can say to make people understand he's not going anywhere. Now, Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be traded, but he's got to have surgery on his throwing shoulder. So how attractive does that make him? Now, last time we saw a starting quarterback have the problem where you knew they were going to trade him was Drew Brees. And I always tell people, look how different college football and NFL would have changed if Nick Saban, the head coach at Miami, had gotten the quarterback he wanted, Drew Brees, instead of being stuck with Dante Culpepper coming off knee surgery by his general manager. He may never have left Miami, and all those teams lost to Alabama in the championship game, might have won championships, including the Longhorns. And so it's amazing how that worked out. But Garoppolo is no Brees, of course, and he might not bring more than a 4th or 5th round pick. But when you have a guy who has a shoulder surgery, it's going to have to be a conditional pick based on how much he's able to contribute. And he had issues even before the surgery, so they're certainly not going to get much for him. They just want to get his $25 million off the cap and the payroll.
John, I would imagine that I won't imagine. I'll ask you. I'm happy that the COVID rules are gone in the NFL. Are you with me or no?
No, they one of the reasons they relaxed them in the playoffs is they didn't want players testing positive and missing playoff games like they did in regular season. And they were able to have some of the most exciting playoffs in history. And so I think that's what motivated them to get rid of it. They'll still have a smaller testing facility rather than the big trailer that everybody got tested. If we in the media got tested once a week for the last 2 years, and going through the big trailer didn't take any time. But if a player has symptoms and he wants to be tested, they don't want him to have to go stand in line somewhere. So they'll still have an on-site facility, just not manned with as many people, so they can get an immediate test.
John McClain of the Houston Chronicle. Follow him on Twitter at McClain_on_NFL. John, always appreciate the insight. We'll visit next week.
Joe and Jason, thank you guys very much. I always appreciate you having me on, and have a great rest of the week.
Thanks,
Certainly
John.
will. Absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, in football, basketball, whatever you want, it's always a little more fun when you gamble on it, right? A little something to make it interesting. Well, I like to do that, and I'm imagining you do too. So I got just a place for you. I want you to think about this, BUSR.com. All right, BUSR.com. They've got everything you need there. If you want to make a bet on a game, a basketball game, we got the big tournament coming up here in a few weeks, and that's always a lot of fun. BUSR.com. They've also got a casino, a race book, and a sports book. You can play blackjack there. You can do roulette there. 200 casino games to bet on. And here's the special that they're running just for Sports Star listeners, a 100% deposit bonus. It's exclusively for all of you that are listening right now. It's Sports Star listeners. That's you. So go to BUSR.com/SportsStar. BUSR.com/SportsStar. Put some money down on your favorite team and get rid of those betting blues.
Ribs, burgers, chicken. Submit what you cooked on the grill or smoker, and you can win a $50 gift card from Tri-County Meat Market. Grilling with the Blitz. Online at SASportsStar.com.
If you need an electrician, let me tell you about Hill Electric. They are available 24/7 for residential and commercial needs. Hill Electric, for over 3 decades, has been a great family-owned business here in San Antonio, serving San Antonio homes and businesses. Whether you need additional outlets or USB ports, you want to fix that fuse that constantly blows or a flickering light, Hill Electric has the right service at the right price. Never a service charge, always free estimates. They've done a couple of projects at my house recently. They put in extra outlets in my garage, a big light in my backyard where my patio lights didn't quite cover where one of my grills are, so I could do some night grilling, dimmer switches in the living room, all those kind of things. And those extra USB ports, especially you got 13 different things that need charging, they're fantastic. Call them. If you're having to rework your office, let Hill Electric design your socially distant space to ensure each workstation has the proper electrical needs. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074, 404-9074, or hill-electric.com.
March Madness, where allegiances mean everything and fandom reigns supreme. Where Cinderella teams dance with bracket busters and perennial powerhouses. Your fire fuels their flight. Go beyond your limits and enter the NCAA universe. The road to the Final Four goes through San Antonio, March 24th and 26th at the AT&T Center. Get your seats to the regional round today at ncaa.com/MBB tickets.
Dave Ramsey here. The only water softener I recommend is a quality water softener from Connecticut. It really is the last water softener you'll ever own. ConnecticutSA.com. And tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
You can unlock more cash than you realize from your home's equity with a cash-out refinance today. In the last year, average home values have gone up nearly 20%. And with Rocket Mortgage, you can unlock thousands in less than 3 weeks. But you've got to act right now before rates go up. So when you're looking to unlock the cash in your home, Rocket can. Call 833-8ROCKET today or go to rocketmortgage.com to get started.
Rates current as of 12/12/21. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender license in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Number 3030. Call 800-490-1233 for disclosures and cost information.
Hello, Discover here to explain our cash back match. Here's how it works. We give you cash back for using your Discover card on the things you were going to buy anyway. Then we match that cash back in your first year. And that's why we call it Cashback Match. Now to recap and say cashback one more time. We match all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year automatically. Discover. Exceptionally common sense. Learn more at discover.com/match. Limitations apply.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
The crazy world of SEC football.
I'm East Coast, baby. All you weak back Southern boys don't know nothing about East Coast.
The Paul Feinbaum Show, tomorrow afternoon at 2, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 103.3 FM.
Hey guys, it's Rudy J. Your home for sports talk is right here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 103.3 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 103.3 FM. He's Joe Ryan Engel. I'm Jason Minix. You know what time it is, don't you?
The Blitz wants you to know what's on tap. Brought to you by Sam's Burger Joint.
It is time for What's on Tap, brought to you by Sam's Burger Joint. If you've got any event happening this weekend, you want to tell people about it. These are a lot of times end up being concerts, but it doesn't have to be. You got something going on? Tell us on Twitter at Joe Ryan Engel 210. Tweet at me at Jason Minix. Sam's Burger Joint tomorrow night. Max Stalling is going to be playing out there. He is fantastic. On Saturday night, Monkeys on a String, which is apparently a tribute to Dave Matthews and Tim Reynolds.
Well, Dave Matthews, that's good.
Next Wednesday, Seth Walker.
Nice.
Full lineup, full menu, samsburgerjoint.com.
Can't wait to get back in there, honestly. Hey, tonight, Majestic Theater, Tootsie. One of my favorite movies of all time, Dustin Hoffman with Tootsie. What an absolutely fantastic performance. Of course, the Spurs taking on the Kings at the AT&T Center tonight. If you want to go out to Green Hall, you can do that and see Ben Ballmer. Brontex Theater has ABBA revisited. That'd be pretty good. Hey, and the UIL girls basketball tournament, the state championship, is beginning tonight. So the ladies will be playing if you want to do that. By the way, you're about to read this. The Clark Cougars, Friday night, they're going to win it all, Jason.
So I don't have to say anything, although they're playing like the defending state champs.
Doesn't matter.
Clark, go Cougs. Friday night, Delay is at the LOL Comedy Club through Sunday. Los Tex Maniacs are playing out at Green Hall. William Beckman is at Flores Country Store. And the Carver Community Culture Center has Corey Cook and The Whale.
Wow. A lot of things going on Saturday night out at Green Hall. You got John Wolf playing, the Thirsty Horse Saloon, Marcy Grace Band with Ken Foe.
I think I'm going to go see Marcy Grace on Saturday night out at Thirsty Horse.
You were talking about it. I haven't been to the Thirsty Horse in a while. That'd be fun.
It's always a fun time.
Flores Country Store has Shiny Ribs. Then, of course, the Girls State Championship game where the Clark Cougars will be playing Saturday night for the state championship. Tobin Center, Ballet San Antonio, Fitzgerald's Bar, Dressed to Kill, a tribute to Kiss. That'd probably be a lot of fun.
They better be dressed
to kill.
For that. All the makeup and everything. And also tweeting in, Rudy Boy Gonzalez on Twitter at Texas Pro Wrestling tweets in at Jason Minix, at Joe Ryan Engel 210. Pro Wrestling, Texas Wrestling Entertainment, Saturday, March 5th. Limitless Sports Academy at 7:30. There, we'll have some wrestling.
I love pro wrestling. Love it.
You're going to go out there on Saturday night?
Great entertainment.
Take them over?
Well, yeah, I might. You know, Maggie's got a wine club Saturday night, so I'll need something to do.
Marcy Grace Band. out at Thirsty Horse. She's local from Smithson Valley. She's
Oh,
fantastic.
is that right?
Absolutely.
Well, that's good.
Remember the Commanders, the San Antonio Commanders, the real Commanders?
I remember that team vaguely.
The
yes.
real Commanders.
I remember them vaguely.
And that song that was written for the Commanders that they would.
Oh, yeah.
That was Marcy Grace.
Is that right?
Absolutely.
Outstanding.
Sunday, Michael Hearn is playing out at Green Hall. Apparently, that's the only thing going on Sunday.
Nothing else happening, right?
Nothing according to pledge.
Here's what I like, and I mean this in all sincerity, is I'm going to read Monday night, and I can actually go do some of this stuff.
Okay.
Green Hall, Slim Bob, and Brett Graham. Now, that's going to be good.
It is going to be good, but I'm not sure what happened to Slim Bob because he normally plays with something called the Stump Grinders.
Really?
Yeah. So maybe it's just Slim and Brett Graham. And Brett Graham is fantastic.
Yeah, he is. I'm sorry, Slim. I'm not familiar with you, but Brett, yes, very good. Aztec Theater, 7 Dust.
There you go.
And the Spurs take on the hated Los Angeles Lakers on Monday night.
Green Hall, 2-ton Tuesdays are back with 2 tons of steel. And the AT&T Center has the Austin Spurs playing in San Antonio on Tuesday night.
Well, that's kind of cool.
That is very, very cool.
2 tons of steel.
Spurs back on Wednesday night against the Raptors, but the Lakers in town. And I know it's not this weekend, but it is coming up on June 11th in the AT&T Center. It's the Reboot Tour. Brooks and Dunn. They're playing out there.
They are.
June 11th.
With our very good friend, Kix Brooks.
That's right. Ryan Engel told Kix in Los Angeles when he was on Radio Row.
Got to come to San Antonio.
You don't have San Antonio on the list. It wasn't on the list of cities. You said you got to change that. He did.
He did.
Got his manager on the phone, booked the show in San Antonio. And as we sit today, the only Texas show they are going to be at.
You're welcome, San Antonio.
You can get your tickets at livenation.com or just keep listening to San Antonio Sports Star for your chance to win. Sam Menace is giving them away, making people really earn them.
Are you not going to do that?
Well, he stole my bid of making people sing for their tickets. And then he wanted Brooks and Dunn stories. And I heard like 4 or 5 people call in today. And not that the people that he picked as winners didn't have good stories, but I thought the best story was some guy that said one of his favorite songs reminded him of his grandma on the red dirt road that she lived on. And he learned how to drive on that. And the lyrics to that song fit perfectly. Went right over Jimenez's head.
Well, if that guy's listening, I say call in. If he calls in, he gets tickets.
Nah, we're not that cheap.
You're not going to do that?
No.
I want to hear that.
You want to hear that story?
I'm a country music guy.
Do you want to hear people sing?
Sure.
All right. If you want to hear bad music, keep it locked right here on San Antonio Sports Star. Because if you want to win Brooks and Dunn tickets, you've got to sing lyrics to your favorite song, and Ryan Engel is going to judge you.
I will be judging.
And decide if you're worthy enough for a pair of tickets to the show that Ryan Engel's responsible for bringing to San Antonio. Dial up those Kielbasa Bacon phone lines, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Be ready to sing a Brooks and Dunn song. They have a lot more songs than you realize.
Yes, they do.
But if you're a fan, it's not going to be hard for you to break out a little Boot Scootin' Boogie or Neon Moon, or what's the other 3 songs they have? I don't know.
Neon Moon's a classic.
Can you sing it?
Classic.
We will do that coming up.
Okay.
Get on the phone lines now. Look, they're all lighting up. 656-ESPN, 656-3776. We'll give away those Brooks and Dunn tickets coming up here on the Blitz. If you are a business owner, a manager, a club leader, you need your logo on any kind of gear, get into Sammy's Embroidery Club on San Pedro. If you need that logo on some polos, some nice office shirts, and think about how professional your business looks, or your business is represented when somebody shows up and your company logo is on a nice shirt. That's what Sam can do that for you. You need that logo on any kind of cap. Sam has the largest selection of caps in town, including the popular Richardson style cap, and he has plenty of inventory in stock. Over 700 uniform lines to choose from. And if you're in charge of uniforms for an athletic league, Little League soccer, baseball, softball, your beer league softball team, you need those uniforms done, get them done locally with Sammy's Embroidery Club. And it could be the uniforms, the jerseys, the shorts, be the bags, the warm-ups, get it all done. And not just embroidery, silk screen shirts as well for any occasion. Sammy's Embroidery and Printing. Nobody has better prices. Sammy has all the big name brands and is the only company in Texas with one-day turnaround. No order too small, certainly no order too big. And all items do come with a warranty. Call 210-824-3900, 824-3900, or better yet, get by that massive showroom down on San Pedro, 1 mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's, or go to the website samsembroidery.com for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
The Paul Feinbaum Show. It's the Jerry Springer of sports talk.
Let's try this again. This is Jim on the other line.
Yes, you won't let me talk, Paul. She knows I'll blast it all over the scene. You are a society snob. That's what you are, lady. And you're not a lady.
You hit people with a spitball.
You're a mad woman. You are a mad woman, lady.
Paul Feinbaum. Weekday afternoons at 2. San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN 1250 and 103.3 FM.
If you're a guy over 30 and feeling frustrated about your health, listen up. Not feeling yourself lately? Are work and relationships getting you down? Do you feel a lack of energy and focus on the things that matter to you most? All men around age 30 have the potential for their testosterone levels to decline naturally. When that happens, life can feel out of control. If that's you, then it's time to rethink your health with Synergenics Testosterone Replacement Therapy. For more info and to schedule an appointment, head over to 800lowt.com today and get your life back.
Hi, it's Rudy J. I'm here with my lawyer, Jason Thompson, owner of the Thompson Law Firm. Jason, as I'm riding around the city, I notice your nice billboards. They look good, but
I have a couple out there trying to keep up with the competition, I
they
guess.
look good. Now, I get in a car accident. Am I going to be talking to you? I don't want to talk to some guy that works for you. I want to talk to the guy that's on the billboard.
No, I know. And you know that you talk to me, but
Yes.
you have, you and I have been friends for a long time, and I've represented you for a long time. But that relationship that you and I have is the relationship I have with a lot of my clients. And I think you're recognizing something that I don't know if everybody knows, that the face on the billboard for that firm might not be the lawyer that you actually get to talk to. That's not true with me, as you know.
Right.
If you call 900-0400, my office number, and you have a question about your case, you're going to talk to me. I'm the lawyer on the billboard, but I'm the lawyer that will handle your case.
Call 210-900-0400, 210-900-0400, or a lawyerforus.com.
Thank you, Rudy.
Live, local, loud. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN, AM 1250 and 103.3 FM. Joe Reinagel, Jason Minix, The Blitz.
It is The Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 103.3 FM. I'm Jason Minix. He is Joe Reinagel.
Dude, you ready for a little boot, scoot, and boogie?
Against my better judgment.
Well, it's going to be fun. Finally, we're going to class this show up with a little country music.
All right, so here's the thing. Because I've done this throughout my career, dating back to the 90s, giving stuff away.
Right.
And you try to do this in the later hours of a show because, well, it certainly helps if they've had a couple of beers already.
Right.
And essentially somebody's going to make some dogs howl. Right.
There's no question about that.
Because we grade on, quite frankly, suckage. How much do you make us laugh? How bad is it?
Yeah. So, in other words, if you're good, that's not good.
Well, no. I mean, if it's good, I mean, we're gonna hear and judge. We got a couple people online. Edwin, what's going on with line 3? You can't hang up on that line is jacked or something.
I can't hang up for whatever reason.
So somebody has hijacked one of our lines?
I guess so. I've never seen that before.
Me neither.
Well, now it is.
All right. So we've got some computer issues in here, right? Because you can't. My call screen is dead because you can't type anything up. So you're going to have to help us out here. He's having headphone issues. Edwin is having headphone issues. Who do
we have? Ron on the line first.
All right, Ron, because the caller 2 on I look at caller ID just says wireless. then a Anna, and then a Hal, right? So, Ron, you're on the Blitz, my friend.
Woohoo!
Ron, that is, you're off to a great, great start. All right, so what song are you going to sing?
Neon Moon.
All right.
Let's hear it.
I met me and my wife too. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. When the sun goes down on my side of town, that lonesome feeling comes to my door, and the whole world turns blue.
And your wife is still with you, Ron?
Huh?
Your wife is still with you after that?
She's not in my car, but my son is like, WTF, what are you doing?
This certainly ain't American Idol. I can promise you that. All right, Ron.
I can tell you now, brother.
Edwin,
I don't have any beers pumped in me yet.
All right, but Ron, you know what? The best part about being first, right now you're on top of the medal stand.
That's exactly right.
So hang on the line. Put Ron on hold. Who's on line 2?
Christian.
All right. And if you want to jump on a line, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776, because one hung up. Christian, you're on the Blitz.
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
Man, we are just ready to be entertained, Christian. So let it roll, baby. What you going to sing?
It's a little surprise. I got a little something here.
All right. You know, the best part about this is if I know this song, you've done a good job because I have no clue. All right, go ahead, Christian.
Okay, you ready? Her daddy gave her her first pony and told her to ride. She climbed high in that saddle. Well, I don't know how many times. He taught her a lesson that she learned. Maybe a little too well. Cowgirls don't cry.
Beautiful.
No telling how many tears I've sat here and cried. How many lives?
All right, I've heard enough.
Well, he's got a compilation there because he went from one song to the next.
All right, because I had no idea that was Brooks and Dunn until he got the Cowgirls Don't Cry, which is a girl dad. You go, all right.
I knew that one.
You know, you knew that one?
I knew that one.
You recognize that one from start to finish?
Absolutely.
Now, we have an unofficial judge in Rudy J from R&R in the Morning who's watching on Facebook Live who said eject.
Well, it went from one. I see what you were doing there, Christian. You went from one song to the next. I get that. I'll give that's all right. Impressive.
Ron is still on top of the medal stand. Christian, I go with Rudy J here. You can go ahead and hang up on Christian. He's got no chance of winning this thing. Let's keep moving on. So
wait a minute.
Hold on now. Hang up on Christian so that we can free up the line and see if somebody else can jump in here at 210-656-ESPN. 656-3776.
We got Danny next.
Danny is next. Danny.
He just hung up.
Danny hung up. Danny got stage fright.
Wow.
Shrinkage, my friend. Let's go to Hal.
Yeah.
Hal, you are on the Blitz.
Jason and Joe. Good to talk to you. First time, long time.
First time, long time. All right, Hal. You're going to sing some Brooks and Dunn?
I'm going to sing Neon Moon.
All right, let's hear it.
When the sun goes down on my side of town, that lonesome feeling comes to my door, and the whole world turns blue.
Oh, sweet. Now that's a good touch.
Bar across the railroad track. I got a table for two way in the back where I sit alone.
I understand why.
Think of losing you.
Yeah, there's no doubt. There are dogs all over barking right now. All right, put Hal on hold.
Put him on hold because the touch with the blue, that was a good touch.
You like that one?
That was a good touch.
All right, put Hal on hold, Edwin. Did you put Hal on hold? All right.
We have Wayne next.
Wayne.
All right. Wayne?
Yeah.
You've heard a couple. What are you singing, man?
How about a little Lost and Found?
Okay.
Is that a Brooks and Dunn
It
song?
is.
Okay. I have no idea.
It is. I'm loving this.
Kind of like a lost and found in a border town, asking about a diamond ring. They just look at you like you lost your mind, say they haven't seen a thing. But I know she's been here lately. I can still smell her perfume. She gets crazy on a full moon.
Nice. Yeah, I haven't heard that song in a long time. I think Brooks and
I don't
Dunn's
know that I've ever heard that song.
Well, you know, Brooks and Dunn sing it a lot better, but that wasn't too bad, Wayne.
Well, I would.
Go with something Kick sings instead of Ronnie, man. Who can follow that?
It's a good point, but you know we're buddies with Kix Brooks now.
That's right.
You know, we spent a whole 15 minutes with the guy in L.A. and got him to bring the show to San Antonio.
Dude, that was just the interview. I mean, he hung around for another 15.
But he didn't have beer, which sucks.
Well, he'll bring beer this time around.
He will. I'll get him out to the Roo Pub or something.
Yeah,
we'll do that.
You got to hold on.
Put
to
Wayne on hold.
Yeah.
210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. We had Ron. He went first. He enjoyed a short time on top of the medal stand.
I agree.
You're well. Hang on.
Oh, we got another one.
Well, there's one more because Edwin was telling us to wait, so I was trying to stretch. You're calling it, Edwin. Well, speed is a factor here when we're doing live radio, man.
Ron.
Well, another Ron.
Another Ron.
It's a different Ron. All right, different Ron. You're on.
Ron number 2.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, can you sing for us though?
Sure.
Don't be overly excited.
You
here,
sound
man.
nervous, Ron. You sound nervous.
I'm a little bit nervous. All right, another Brooks and Dunn.
Yep, let it rip.
Okay. Out in the country, Pat. Out in the country, Pat. Sitting in beside where there's a honky tonk. There's a county line. The joint starts jumping every night when the crowd goes wrong. I got whiskey, women, music, and smoke.
That's when you just go.
Dude, Ron,
I get
was
that, Ron.
Awful at the beginning, solid right in the stretch, and then you fell off a cliff. like I thought maybe you got too close to the end of the stage and just fell into the crowd. Thanks for trying, man.
Dude, that was all right. Thanks, Ron.
All right. So all right, Rudy J, you've heard them all. You're chiming in on Facebook Live. Edwin, who did you like? Just hold up a line number. Just hold up fingers.
Okay.
So you like and you like. All right.
The first Ron was the best.
Well, yeah, because the
second Ron.
Yeah, second
if he
Ron.
would have kept going, he was on a roll there.
Yeah, it took him a while to get out of the gate.
Took him a while, but he had potential.
Rudy, is Rudy commenting on Facebook?
I don't know. There you go. All right.
Ron 2 is the leader. No, Ron 2 is not. He ejected on Ron 2 as well.
I see where Rudy's going there, because if Ron 2 would have kept going, I think he might have been there.
Ron 2 hung up.
Yeah, well,
it's too late. Wayne was all right too.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
So you want to go with line 4?
Yep, I think Wayne was the guy.
All right, Wayne.
Yeah, man, I'm glad I'm working my way up the ladder here.
Well, you reached the top, my friend, because you're the winner of this go round.
Awesome.
You want to sing us out?
Please.
I don't know. I'm going to quit while I'm ahead.
Yeah, there you go. You're a smart man,
Probably
Wayne.
so. Well, congratulations,
and credit
Wayne.
Joe Reinagel. He picked you.
I did.
Thanks.
All right, Wayne. Thanks for playing.
All right, hang on though. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah, don't go
Edwin's got to
anywhere.
get all kinds of information from you.
And I'll just say that, look, for Ron number 1 and Christian and everybody else that called in, Hal and and everybody else, Danny, we'll do this again.
No, we won't.
No, we will.
We won't.
Absolutely,
Dude,
we
see,
will.
this
How
is-
much fun did you have? And you learned something about Brooks and Dunn today.
I love the bit, sing for your supper kind of thing.
Yeah.
You just can't do it all the time.
I didn't say all the time. I just said we'll do it again.
We're not going to do it tomorrow.
No.
You
But
know,
hang on.
You know what we won't do though is make people sing for Greta Van Fleet tickets.
Well, yeah, that's a good thing because then you would have to help me there.
I don't like them, so it'd be hard for you to win. We'll just random caller for that one.
Well, congratulations to Wayne. You
Yes.
done good.
Yes, yes, he did.
So see how Brooks and Dunn, they have some good songs.
By what I just heard, that's not true.
Well, one thing I learned today is that Sports Star listeners cannot sing.
That is true.
They cannot. They may be talented in other areas, but singing ain't it.
Well, and again, it's a fun way to give stuff away.
Yeah.
Every now and then you do that.
Every now and then.
Because it's amazing to me what people are willing to do to get something for free.
Absolutely. That's the best thing is for free.
If it's free, it's for me.
Right.
Nothing
But
wrong with that.
You know, you really can't say we gave those tickets away for free.
They earned them.
They had to work for it.
Yes.
So it wasn't free.
Let's sing for their supper.
They did. Way to go, Wayne.
Good Lord.
Very nice. Very nice.
If you don't want to sing for tickets, you just want to buy them, livenation.com for those Brooks and Dunn tickets coming up. I have completely lost my rundown.
And you know what? We got to pick another winner. I mean, it's
For
just, don't we? Is that
For when?
Grilling with the Blitz?
Oh, that's right. We got to do Grilling with the Blitz.
How long you been doing the show?
14 years.
Yeah, I've been doing 3 months. Come on.
Well, you've got your rundown in front of you. You know what the roadmap says.
Well, there you go.
Edwin, it's time for Grilling with the Blitz. This is generally where we'd have the good pre-produced open with big voice guy say, Grilling with the Blitz.
Well, Edwin is he's working with Wayne. Maybe Wayne's singing to Edwin back there.
Multitasking.
Yes.
It's in the job requirement.
That is? Well, he'll get there.
Hey, look, I found my rundown. It's time for Grilling with the Blitz, where we give away a $50 gift card to Tri-County Meat Market. If you're doing any kind of grilling, upload it to sasportstar.com. Every week we give away a gift card to Tri-County Meat Market. And I tell you what, they're really good nominations and entries this week, but one that, quite frankly, we haven't seen before.
Nope.
Since we've been doing this contest, a little bit different. And so our winner today is, as the computer's running slow, we already picked the winner, and the winner is Hog. I wanted to get this right. Hog Bratwurst. Fresh hog brats smoked with hickory, then cooked in beer and onions. And they look fantastic.
They look good, but the fact, well, hog, isn't that what all sausage is made of?
Well, unless it's beef.
I guess
unless
so.
it's beef sausage. I mean, it's meat 101, Joe.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you could get chicken
so
sausage. That is not hog or beef.
I started thinking hog, pig. It's the same thing, isn't it? Kind of.
Pork. See, my guess is that this guy went and did a little hog hunting.
Ah.
As opposed to just doing some regular brats.
And they made some brats out of it.
And because he's very specific that it was hog bratwurst. I don't know many places where you go buy just hog, but if you go hunting and you get a hog or two, there is some of that meat that you can harvest.
Well, see, then there is a difference between a hog and a pig.
Well, yes.
Okay.
But it's pork.
It's still pork.
It's pork.
It's got to be a different flavor of pork, though, I would think.
I mean, pig is pig.
Well, yeah, but so like deer tastes like deer, and then maybe antelope.
Well, antelope, Joe, is not a deer.
Well, you know
See,
what I'm
like
talking
if you
about.
get a black
It's got
buck
the
antelope,
same family,
or if you get like an Atlas deer or something like that, it's a different kind of deer. So the meat's going to be a little bit different.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So you got a little porky here, and then you got a hog.
Like I
bet it's
I got a
different.
fallow deer 2 years ago, which are known as like the king's deer. They're huge, massive, and that meat was so different.
Was it good?
Yeah.
See, I'm not a big deer meat guy.
You got to prepare it right. like the ram that I got this year, they were like, "What do you want out of this?" And I was like, "Well, what's good?" And they were like, "Donate it." And I said, "Okay." Is that the best thing you can do with this is tamales, but the meat processor they use doesn't make the tamales, so I just donated that.
You
meat.
put his head in your house.
I'm waiting for it to show
You're
up.
waiting for it.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it to show up.
Put a nice little Rams hat on there or a jersey or something. That'd be kind of cool.
Not really, no.
No, that'd be awesome.
I'm not gonna have any kind of Ram stuff in my house unless I go to Angelo State and get one of their hats. But I have no connection to Angelo State either.
Well, congratulations with the hog brats.
Yep, congratulations, David. You win yourself a $50 gift card to Tri-County Meat Market. Again, this weekend, if you're doing some grilling, take a picture of your meat, upload it at sasportstar.com. Why does that make you laugh every time?
Well, it just does, because I know how you think.
No, I'm talking about grilling.
I know what you're talking about.
Like I was telling you what I'm doing tonight for dinner.
So has anybody ever done that?
As far as I know, no. As far as I know, but there is a very good reason why you cannot upload your photo and then see it on the website right away.
Oh, okay.
It's got to go through the gatekeeper that is Nick Trey.
Well, that's good.
Because otherwise, there might be some things that end up on the website. But I would imagine if somebody did try to take a picture that they might send to somebody that they're talking to on Tinder, that if Nick were to get one of those, we would all know in the office.
They might even have a sock on that thing.
But I promise you, you would not end up with a $50 gift card to Tri-County Meat Market.
No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't. Just send us a picture of your meat.
On your grill.
On your grill.
On your grill. Or your plate, your cutting board. We're cooking, Joe.
I know. I get it.
Are you sure?
Well, you always emphasize that. And I just...
Well, I don't want to picture your vegetables.
It's getting hot in here.
I really don't need because there's a couple on here. There's one. He's got too much green on there for my liking. So no.
A lot of green?
Yeah.
Was there meat in there?
There is. But the guy's got way, way, way too much asparagus on that grill.
Well, can't you just push that aside?
I mean, if he had that asparagus wrapped in bacon, now we'd be talking.
Now, see, I like asparagus. So that might be good. And asparagus goes really well with a steak.
It does.
It goes great with a steak.
Unless you don't eat asparagus.
I love asparagus.
I don't.
See, Jason, green vegetables and steak is just a natural pairing.
Mm-hmm.
It is. Not just French fries.
I don't eat French fries with
No.
steak. Generally, a baked potato or I eat a lot of corn on the cob, something like that.
You need to throw in a green.
Maybe a little bit of broccoli.
Okay, broccoli.
But
good.
Not the biggest fan of asparagus.
Asparagus with a steak, though. Dude, it's awesome.
Again, not my thing.
Spinach?
No.
Dude, as much as you like Ruth's Chris, their cream spinach is outstanding.
It is. Yeah, the cream spinach there is outstanding.
So you'll eat that.
If somebody else orders it, it's family style. I'll put a little on my plate.
Yeah.
But their broccoli is better there. But what's really good there is the lobster mac and cheese, which goes extremely well with a steak.
That's pretty good. I'm not a big lobster guy, though.
But the lobster and the lobster mac and cheese,
you can taste it.
But it's not a dominant. It's good. You would like it.
Okay.
You're not a lobster guy?
No, not really.
That surprises
me. I'm not
me.
a seafood guy at all, really. I like fried shrimp, raw oysters.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it. I don't like fish.
Everywhere we go, you eat calamari.
Catfish. Well, that's okay.
Okay.
Calamari's okay. I like catfish or Long John Silver's.
Seriously. You really just went Long John Silver's?
Long John Silver's with a lot of ketchup on it is fabulous.
Dude, where are you from?
Alice, Texas, baby. Don't put that vinegar stuff on there because that kind of ruins it. A little ketchup.
Your eating habits are interesting. No, I'm not a big seafood guy.
Yeah.
I eat a lot of varieties of shrimp. I do like calamari. I always order calamari.
Calamari's good.
Good clam chowder every now and then. But Long John Silver, like fish and chips, not a fan.
I like it if it's done right.
But again, it's got to be done right. But typically anything fried, if you fry up, it's going to be good.
Fried catfish in a cold beer. I don't. Is there anything better?
Fried shrimp in a cold beer.
I don't know, man. Fried catfish in a cold beer. That's delicious.
Grilled shrimp, bacon wrapped shrimp.
No.
Go all Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump now? Well, that'd be Bubba.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good stuff. My goodness, Ryan Engel.
Boy. All right.
Dairy Queen tacos and Long John Silver's for
delicious. Delicious. And dairy burger steak strips.
There you go. In Dallas, Texas.
Yeah.
Go to Red Lobster and you got that big shrimp platter. But again,
the only good at Red Lobster's the little biscuits.
Well, that's it. When they're doing shrimp season, you go in there and you load up on their shrimp, and then you get the biscuits. But again, when your mainstay is a side dish, like if you're a barbecue place known for creamed corn or for fried chicken or iced tea, then are you really a barbecue? If you're a seafood place known for your biscuits, that's the problem.
No, so that's what I'm telling you. That's not.
Yeah. Remember. But shrimp. I'm trying to think what that shrimp plate is that they have.
At Red Lobster.
At Red Lobster. I haven't been there in a long time.
Well, I haven't either. And yeah.
I guess they probably won't be sponsoring us anytime soon either. Which is nice. In 14 years they haven't. So I think we're safe.
We're safe.
Yeah, exactly. Now, you know who does have good shrimp on the menu over there at the Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. Food there is fantastic. Not only is the Roo Pub the best sports bar in San Antonio, the best place to go watch a game, the food at the Roo Pub is fantastic. All made from scratch in their kitchen. They have the best, probably the biggest wings in town. About 15 different burgers on the menu. Great chicken sandwich. Great salads. They've got a fantastic wedge salad. Their appetizers, I highly recommend their onion rings or the Philly cheesesteak fries. And the kitchen is open late till 2 a.m. every day with the full menu available. So if you're out somewhere, you want that late night meal, don't go to a drive-thru. Get into the Roo Pub there at 281 in Redland Road. Great place to go watch a game. Great place to go watch the fights. They will have the UFC fight coming up this Saturday, and make plans for St. Patrick's Day. No better party in town for St. Patty's Day than the Roo Pub there at 281 in Redland Road. The Roo Pub has happy hour weekdays from 11 to 6. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game or the fight, the Roo Pub next to the Angry Elephant, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
We're going to talk a little gambling with the fine folks at BUSR. That's coming up after the Sports Center update. The Spurs return home. They are back in action tonight. They'll take on the Sacramento Kings. Silver and Black trying to snap a 2-game losing streak. Sacramento, they come in having lost 4 of their last 5. Spurs looking to get in that pack of 10 so they can get in that playoff game. They are play-in game, tournament, I should say. They're 2 games back as we sit today. UTSA Roadrunners welcome North Texas into the Convocation Center tonight. Tip-off there set for 7 o'clock. In the NFL, the Cowboys expected to be without tight end Blake Jarwin for the start of the regular season, if at all at this point in time. Jarwin had hip surgery last month. They tell us it's a surgery that is considered uncommon for NFL players. And the NFL and the Players Union came to an agreement today. They're scrapping all COVID regulations. For San Antonio Sports Star, I'm Joe Ryan Engel.
My sign is a potential customer's first impression, so it needs to be perfect.
It's possible at Staples.
There are 4 other bakeries within 5 blocks of here. My shop needs to stand out.
Also possible. With Staples print and marketing services, small businesses can print big with wide format signs and banners. Right now, get $10 off custom printed signs, banners, and posters when you spend $50 or more. Create your sign at Staples, the working and learning store. Ends 3/26. Visit staples.com/signage for details.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Starting trouble. No one likes that. We'll get you set up for some stronger starts. You might just need a fresh charge, and we'll take care of that free of charge. But if it is time for a new battery, we've got replacement batteries that'll fit your needs, starting at just $69.99. You can learn more about our battery selection at AutoZone.com. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Claim based on data from the NPD Group 2021.
I need 4 more of the biscuit carnitas, 2 burnt end platters, 3.
The kitchen at Kai's Barbecue is firing on all cylinders.
Greg, help me bring these to the pickup counter.
He needs food runners who can hit the ground quickly.
86 on the chicken and we're short-staffed. Let's pick it up.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Exergen would like you to know about an important study just released by the FDA. It confirms what the medical community has known all along. Non-contact thermometers are not accurate. The study also reports that they fail to meet FDA requirements for accuracy in labeling. We can't afford to tolerate the rampant false temperature readings from non-contact thermometers. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. You need Exergen thermometers because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it gonna work? Guys, I'm gonna let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pure Line Nutrition.
Second it takes. The Blitz with Joe Reinagle and Jason Minix. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 103.3 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 103.3 FM. He is Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix. Spurs play Sacramento tonight, finally back from that Rodeo Road Trip. 20 games left in the season for the San Antonio Spurs, and we've talked a lot, Joe, about are they going to make the play-in tournament? Are they not? What are the odds? They don't look good, but let's talk about it with an expert. Drew White from BUSR calling in, and tell you what, if you're getting into the game, a little scratch on the game always makes it more interesting. Go to busr.net/sportstar because you'll get a 100% deposit bonus for our great listeners here at the Blitz. Drew, how's your Thursday?
Everything's going great. Thanks a lot for having me on the show, guys. I really appreciate it.
No, we appreciate you coming on, Drew. You've been in this game for a little while, I understand. I mean, my goodness, the what do you call it? The gambling game for several years. So what do you think about games like the Spurs game tonight against Sacramento? Both of those teams not very good. I think the Spurs are about a 6 or 6.5 point favorite. I mean, how would you address that game, or was that a game you'd stay away from?
I have to be honest with you. Looking at the Spurs, they're a bubble team at best. It's not their finest year for sure. After 5 championships over the past 25 years, which they enjoyed such greatness. It's kind of a shell of themselves. They can make the postseason, absolutely. But this would be, in my opinion, a stay away from game. I have no opinion there whatsoever. But the Spurs, I'm always rooting for them. I'm certainly always rooting for the Dallas Cowboys as well. And I know that they've had a drought, but no, there's certain games that just you don't touch. You just watch them and enjoy.
Well, and that's it. And with the Spurs, like, they should win this game tonight. And every time you say that, bad things tend to happen, right? I mean, it's weird that way. When you looking at NBA games right now, as you come down the stretch, like Kevin Durant back tonight for Brooklyn, they were a 2 seed in the East when he got hurt. He's missed 6 weeks. You know, they're down at the 8 seed. What does the impact of Kevin Durant make, not necessarily for the Nets, but if you're looking to put a little something on a game involving the Nets and Kevin Durant?
Exactly. So that's a really good example. So somebody like Durant, he could be worth 1 to 2. It depends, maybe 2.5 points. That sounds like an awful lot. It'd usually be a half a point or a point, but it depends. He's such a high talented person. And coming off, I believe we said he's 21 games recovering. We always want to watch and see how they come back, because athletes are stubborn and they actually think that they're, at times they could be supermen, meaning sometimes they come back a little quicker than anticipated. And well, that's the reason they're in the NBA, for example. But we want to watch and see exactly how they participate next couple of games, and then we're going to price that into the line and see how it goes. But if you're looking for futures, which we offer so many, conference, division, championship, everything possible, I believe we even offer odds to win, to make the playoffs. I know we had that in the beginning of the season. I'm not sure if we have that right now, but that is something that you can kind of take a quick peek at. An example, I know we're talking NBA here, but an example would be with March Madness, which is approaching. You could get a flyer on like a Stephen F. A. Austin school, or some of these, not Houston because they're popular, but some of these under the radar teams, like maybe even a Seton Hall. Just put a couple, put a little bit on there and just hope for the best. Because if you make the tournament in the NBA, March Madness, or if you make the postseason in the NBA, anything can happen. If you just take a look back to the NFL, the Bengals made the Super Bowl. So one never knows. I mean, the odds are not always right. They're always close, but they're not always right.
Drew, I find it interesting now too. And when you go to a site like yours at BUSR, you don't just have to say, hey, I want the Spurs tonight, or I want this team tonight against that team, and whatever the line is. There's so many different options, aren't there, where you can bet on so many different things. It really makes it a lot more interesting and a lot more fun.
Exactly. That's a great point. Let me touch on that for a moment. So the old days, remember, I got my schooling in Las Vegas. I've lived there for quite a long time, and that's where I learned under some of the best minds that are currently still actually active in sports wagering. But having said that, way back in the day, I used to write proposition wagers, and an example of this would be at the Imperial Palace in Las Vegas, which I don't believe is any longer there. I'm not so sure.
It's gone, man. It's been gone a while. The old Imperial Palace.
But this is the amount of knowledge I have, and believe me, I'm so looking forward to being on the show tonight and for the future. But I used to write props, for example, Michael Jordan points against Super Bowl first downs and combined passing yards, things like that. So that was the inception, and believe me, I could talk about this for hours, but that was the inception of the proposition wager. Same thing with Tiger Woods when he went on those fantastic runs at such a young age to win early majors. But now, in the year we're in 2022, you can virtually make your own props. So for an example, like let's just say Kevin Durant, hypothetically, of course, let's say he's 100% back, he's in the lineup, then you could actually participate how many points he will have. It won't just be an over-under of like maybe 27.5 points. You could actually pick the amount, over-under 16.5, over-under 12.5, over-under 45. You could bet on, for example, if Kevin Durant has a triple-double, or if he's going to have how many assists, rebounds. On top of that, we also offer live wagering, which is you can wager on the game during the game. So again, going back to, I know I dated myself, but way back when, you could only bet on let's say an NBA game when it tipped off and the halftime. But now with so much progression, especially with BUSR.com, we offer so many things. There's not 1 second of the game that you cannot wager on virtually anything, including prop bets.
And again, go to BUSR.com/SportsStar, and you'll get a 100% deposit bonus for listening to this show. Drew, the in-game betting is a bit of a game changer, and I can't wait for, the great state of Texas to make gambling legal in that area. How has in-game betting affected the gambling world?
Fantastic question. So again, our handle used to be predominantly on, let's take an NFL game, on the kickoff, and it would be the point spread primarily, and then the money line and the total will come second and third. Now with the now with in-game wagering, that handle has actually not it's approached the pre-game lines, the handle. I'm sorry, but for games like March Madness and Super Bowl, it actually eclipsed our pre-game handle. So this is what it does essentially for us is it allows us to offer a better product for the customer, but also, let's say that let's take again the Super Bowl. Maybe you missed the kickoff and you're out getting, some burgers and hot dogs. Well, you can still get down on the game, even if the score is 10-0 or 3-0. But people love this now. I will tell you something. It took people a while to understand it because the old school, like I mentioned earlier, the old school people were just used to getting their bet down on a sheet of paper on a napkin and passing it to somebody and, bet X number of dollars on this and win or lose. But now with the in-game betting. It halftime wagering is huge, but live game betting, in-game betting, whichever you want to call it, that is fast on the way to superseding the pregame handle and any quarters or halves. People love it. They absolutely love it because it's exciting.
Yeah, and if you're losing that first bet, you can try to get even on the next one, I guess, right? During the same game.
Exactly. And it's no more evident than when you're sitting, maybe you're having a beverage at the bar with one of your buddies, and he's telling you, oh my God, like let's take college basketball. He's like, wow, Houston was favored by 11 and they're down 3 at the half. There's no way they're going to not come back and crush this team. And heaven forbid Houston loses, but let's say, an injury happens or something and they don't come back and cover, and you're like, oh my goodness, like that was the best chance. So if you pick your spot properly, you can find really good value with it. And actually, if you can line up the pregame line or, the closing line, that is, with the live betting, you can find some really good value if you're smart.
All right, Drew, I may not be with this question, but I'm looking at the Longhorns' odds of winning the NCAA tournament. Am I wasting my money by putting a little down on UT?
Absolutely not. They're one of my personal sleepers. They really are. I believe what we're seeing right now, we are having two of our largest plays. The people are loving right now are early in the year, Tennessee and Duke, of course, because this is Coach K's last year. So people are all the storylines with all that stuff. But I was looking at specifically the Texas schools, the possibility of them entering the March Madness, and I believe we have 6 easy. And that could climb up to 8 depending on what happens in some conference tournaments. I know 8's a stretch, but it is possible. And Texas, if you think about that, we have 64 teams in the field. You have 8. That's 12.5% of the field. So Texas is looking good this year, and I do like Texas actually.
Drew, when you look at the tournament coming up, and there's always, especially in that first round, there's going to be an upset or two. Is it worth it, you think, to try and find one of those teams that you feel like's got a real shot at upsetting a 5 seed or a 6 seed or something to that effect? I mean, and how do you go about doing that? Is there a formula for that?
Yeah, there are many different ways. What I prefer to do, and I've done it for a while, is I like most people, that maybe don't have the most experience in the wagering industry. They will select a future on, let's say, for example, Houston to win March Madness. Okay, well then that means Houston has to win the 6 games to get there, and that's it, and that's fine. But if you're looking for value, I prefer to look in the region. So, North, South, Midwest, and West. And I like to pick underdogs to win that region because that's where you get a lot of value, more so than, for example, them actually winning the whole March Madness. Texas Tech is a good example. I think it was last year, I believe, or 2 years ago. They did real well, and they almost won the title. And if you ask me, they played their hearts out. That I actually wish they did. I think it was 2 or 3 years ago. But there was so much value on them winning their bracket and the region, and that's where I personally find the most value. Also, if you do that, what you want to do is, let's say that they win the first and second round, and they're climbing the way, and they're heading toward the Final Four. But say that one game before the Elite 8, you may want to consider hedging also, because perhaps they could be in an underdog role there, and you don't want to get those first 3 games under your belt, and then, for example, maybe you lose it right there in the Elite 8. So I always like to take my original wager off the table whenever possible with futures. But again, futures are a fantastic way to participate in March Madness and virtually all professional sports.
Drew White from BUSR.com. Always appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us here on the Blitz. And again, go to BUSR.com/sportsstar. Get your account set up. 100% deposit bonus for Blitz listeners.
Outstanding. Thank you, Drew.
Good stuff.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I'll talk to you soon.
Appreciate it. Look at that. And again, March Madness coming up, the NBA playoffs down the stretch. There'll be some horse racing right around the corner. Maybe some baseball. Maybe not.
Maybe. I love the little insights, though, that he gave. I mean, the in-game stuff that you can do, the futures betting, and, so it's changed a lot, since some of us started gambling years ago, where it's not just
where you just call your guy
and say, I want the Spurs minus 6.5
on Thursday.
Exactly.
Whatever the case may be.
Yep. That's it.
A lot easier now.
A lot easier and a lot more fun and a lot more ways to win money. We're going to be positive.
Take advantage of the deposit bonuses.
Absolutely. 100%.
Oh, yeah.
That's incredible.
Everywhere. Take advantage of those. I don't care if you're on some other apps or doing some other places.
Right.
It doesn't matter. Have it everywhere. Take advantage of those deposit matches.
Yeah, you deposit $100, you're going to get $100. So that's 100%.
That means you have $200 to play with. I'm Joe Reinagel.
There you go. And
Math
see,
lessons
then you
with
can go.
Uncle Joe.
$200, you get $200. Then you have 4.
Ooh,
wow.
But wait, there's more.
And so on and so forth, kids. So check them out. Check them out. I was on while we were talking to Drew. I'm on the website here, and it's very easy to go through and all that kind of stuff. So check it out. They got the Spurs minus 6.5, by the way. Would you give up 6.5 in the Spurs tonight?
Hell no.
No?
Dude, I think I've laid money on the Spurs 3 times this year.
Right. Okay. And have you lost them all?
2 of them I know of.
Okay.
Third one I can't remember.
Then you're doing fine.
Although I typically will try to parlay into this or that.
Yeah, I was going to ask him about that, and maybe in later shows we will. But, you know, the value of a parlay.
It's just higher payoff, higher risk.
Right. Well, yeah.
I mean, here
you don't have to put up as much money, though.
But here's the thing. Like, I have found for me, I do a 5-team parlay, I'm going to lose. 4, I'm going to win.
Really?
5, whatever reason, I can't get that 5th one, and it'll be something dumb that happens in that 5th game. 4, boom, good to go.
Well, you know, the odds of winning a 5-game parlay, though, are astronomical.
It's why you try to do them.
I know it is, but I mean.
But, you know, I'll have 4 right and the 5th one gone. There's other times where you lose them all, but that's part of the fun.
I had a couple of parlays in the Super Bowl and didn't turn out too well.
Because you put everything on the losing team.
No, it's the winning team. They just didn't cover the spread.
I told you that. I told you that.
Whatever, dude.
I told you that.
Stop.
Dude, I had a prop bet that I lost on the Super Bowl that was on its way to being an easy cover until Odell blew out his knee. Because I think he was like 64 yards for the game. And I'm like, yeah, I'll take the over.
So, yeah, what was the over? It's 80-something, wasn't it?
No, he got hurt at like 46.
Oh, so it was 60-something.
Yeah.
I got you.
And in the first half, you're like, yeah, this is going to be easy.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, he would have done that easily. So I enjoy a little wager from time to time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like daily.
Absolutely. No.
If it's a day that ends in Y, I probably have something somewhere.
Well, not every time, but I mean, you know, sometimes you do. And I tell you what is not gambling, though. When you have a problem with your roof, the fine folks at Stevens Roofing, that is a sure bet. I'm going to tell you that for sure. Stevens Roofing has been around for a long time, and they've been right here in San Antonio. They're family-owned, and they love the great people of South Texas. What I love about this company is they are local. They are San Antonio. They're not a fly-by-night company that just comes around every time there's a storm or something going on. Stevens Roofing has been here for a long time. They're going to be here for a long time to come. In fact, they're licensed by the city of San Antonio, and it doesn't matter what you need. They can handle any job, whether it's commercial or residential, metal or composition, doesn't make any difference. They can take care of it. They're going to give you free estimates. They'll finance it for you if you need that. And they're going to work with your insurance company. That is something I love. Don't want to deal with the insurance company? Let Stevens Roofing take care of that for you. They're going to guarantee their work in writing, and then they're going to stand behind their work. So here's what I want you to do. Write this number down, 210-785-0994, or you can go to stevensroofing.net. But don't ever forget, Stevens Roofing, it's your local roofer.
It's the NBA. Catch every score.
He knocks it down.
Every block.
Cracks it home.
Listen for the latest on San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN 1250 and 103.3 FM.
Hey, San Antonio Sports Star listeners. This is Michael Kielbasa with Kielbasa Smoked Meats. Thanks to fans like you, you can now buy Kielbasa products just about everywhere. We hope you continue to enjoy our handcrafted, small batch smoked meats because we sure enjoy making them for you. So grab some today and let me know what you think. My number's on the back of every pack. Right by my promise that if it's not the best you've ever tasted, I'll give you your money back. Find Kielbasa at a store near you today.
On our first date, we had masks on and kept 6 feet apart. Now we're a lot closer.
Just like Cliff and Deb, thousands of singles over 50 found their perfect match on Silver Singles last year.
I feel like I'm 20 years old again, and I'm pretty sure she feels the same way.
Rediscover the magic of dating with Silver Singles, the exclusive community for singles over 50. Sign up today and receive daily matches you won't want to miss at silversingles.com/radio. silversingles.com/radio.
Now an important message from Exergen. A critical new FDA study proves that the widely used non-contact thermometers are not accurate and have high probabilities for false negative readings. New COVID strands are on the rise, and non-contact manufacturers are being irresponsible at a time when accuracy matters most. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. Don't wait. Switch to Exergen because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Do you have taxiety? That uncertain feeling before doing your taxes? Filing on your own or choosing the wrong partner can be stressful. Connect with Liberty Tax and then just breathe in and cash out.
Get your largest possible refund or your money back.
Now, repeat.
Visit StopTaxiety.com to schedule your appointment and say farewell to the stress of tax season. Liberty Tax. Let's end taxiety. At participating locations, terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $700 on average, and those savings add up. Imagine what you could buy in the future.
So I used the savings from switching to Progressive 30 years ago to buy tickets to the championship game. You know, between those two teams that didn't exist 30 years ago. Yeah, I'm a big Alaska Palm Trees fan, which is a team now in the future.
So switch to Progressive and save big because those savings can add up in the future. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National annual average insurance savings by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive in 2020. Potential savings will vary.
Sports fans, got the coronavirus blues? Baby, we have the cure. Wash your hands, sign up, and play online with BUSR.com. With BUSR.com, you get everything. A casino, racebook, and sportsbook, blackjack, roulette, and over 200 casino games. Want more? How about a 100% deposit bonus exclusively for Sports Star listeners? Just go to BUSR.com/SportsStar. BUSR.com/SportsStar. BUSR, the cure for your coronavirus blues.
Hi, this is Joe Reinagle. San Antonio Sports Star Drive to End Hunger is going on now through March 25th. Just go to sasportstar.com to give what you can or just find drop-off locations. It's all presented by the Institute for Functional Health, Rambler Sparkling Water, Copenhagen Imports, and Airtron.
Hey guys, it's Rudy J. Let's talk the biggest stories in sports tomorrow morning, 7 till 10 on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 103.3 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 103.3 FM. Spurs back home tonight after a long rodeo road trip. Sacramento in town, not the sexiest of matchups, but generally two bad teams make a really good game.
Well, it can. I mean, I don't know how it gets much better than what was that overtime game they played? Was that against Washington the other night? That was fantastic. Double overtime, I should say. Man, what a game that was. 300 points scored in that game.
McDermott back?
McDermott is back. He was listed, he played a little bit in the Memphis game, but then he was listed as questionable early on. But he's due to play.
20 games left in the season. They got one odd road trip coming up, but they got a good long stretch of games at home with plenty of days off between. So Pop will be able to get some good practice in, get that practice time in as they make this stretch run. And listening to the guys play, they're trying to figure out how to win and get into the play-in tournament. I don't see any real way they avoid the play-in and actually get high enough to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, they would almost have to go 20-0 to even have a chance.
But I do think they've got a real chance at the play-in.
Absolutely.
It's interesting because looking at Jeff Garcia at Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5, they did a deal over the podcast. I saw it all over Twitter today, and I think Pledger or Jack Thompson was a part of it, talking about has Josh Primo hit his rookie wall. Yeah.
Yes.
But we talked about that a couple of weeks ago. I mean, especially when you look at what he's doing at the NBA level and then getting in the car and going up to Austin and playing there. Guy's playing a lot of basketball, but he was awful the other night in Austin.
Well, I'm telling you, and we've been talking about this because, when he first said, Primo's got to play. This guy's the next thing, next Michael Jordan. He's coming, he's this, he's that. And I'm like, pump the brakes a little bit. Spurs fans get excited, and I'm happy they do. But you got to take things and be realistic with them. They all get mad at Pop for sending guys to Austin. Well, that's where they need to be. That's where they need to play. And Josh Primo is a 19-year-old kid who had 1 year of college basketball. And the NBA is a completely different animal. It's more physical. It's a grind with the travel, the back-to-backs. It's a grind. And you got to believe that this guy was going to get tired, and he has. And he has hit a little bit of a wall. Give this guy some chance. A couple years, 2-3 years from now, Josh Primo could be a big star in the NBA.
He could be. And again, the thing about a guy hitting his rookie wall at this point is, he's young in a project, and we knew that. He should be a freshman in college.
Yeah.
Remember
or sophomore.
Remember he skipped his senior year to go to college early.
That's
so,
right.
He's young.
He's young.
And so, but the idea of Josh Primo being a difference maker on this team, being a playoff team or not, is, dude, seriously. But because you look at Lonnie Walker has been incredible since the trade deadline.
Yeah.
I don't know if the light bulb went off when he saw a guy like Derek White get traded, but I can't believe that Derek White's presence had such a negative effect on Lonnie Walker. The only thing I could say with Derek gone, the light bulb went off finally for Lonnie Walker, but I don't think Lonnie Walker was being held back by the presence of Derek White, although he's certainly playing a hell of a lot better since Derek White left the building.
Yeah, and maybe he just found some freedom, Jason. I don't know, but I think always Lonnie Walker's biggest problem has been between his ears. Obviously, he's got the talent. He's got the skills. He's athletic as all get out. But he always had the trouble between the ears. And I say that not because I think he's dumb. I think he's a very smart guy. He's a very smart basketball guy. But Lonnie would have a tendency, if something went wrong, that he would get down on himself, and he was worthless for about the next 10 minutes. And that was the problem. And so you've got to get over that. And you hear it all the time in pro sports. You got to have a short memory. If something went wrong, you got to forget about it and move on. And I don't know what coach it was, but I'll never forget this saying, is don't let one loss turn into two.
Yep.
And I love that saying. And in pro sports, it's so important. So Lonnie Walker playing well, and it's good to see.
We got 1 minute here. All right.
I'd have kept going then.
Well, you can. We've got 1 minute, Joe Ryan.
Devin Vassell is another guy that I think is benefiting from that trade, getting the opportunity to be in that starting lineup. So I think the Spurs win tonight, Jason, and I think they cover that 6.5 point spread.
Joe Ryan Engel.
That's for entertainment purposes only, but I'm saying that they win. Sacramento's a tired ball club.
They are. They got their ass kicked last night by New Orleans. They scored 13 whole points in the fourth quarter down in the Big Easy because they took it easy in the fourth quarter. If you are betting on this game, 6.5 or not, you are a degenerate. I wouldn't touch this game because with the Spurs, there are no easy wins. There are no cupcakes.
They win this game by more than 6.5.
I won't argue.
Okay.
I just won't put my money where my mouth is.
All right. Well,
Spurs need this one, though.
I'll celebrate tomorrow then.
They need this one. Make sure and wake up with Rob and Rudy tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. for R&R in the morning. We'll talk to you boys tomorrow at 4.
Halftime with Michael Jimenez.
I've been asking, are there fans of this band? Coheed and Cambria.